Gaming news this week has been a little wild. First, GTA 6 price is back in the headlines as Strauss Zelnick won't commit to a price, and given the timing of the GTA 6 release date, I actually have a theory about how they are going to handle this. And we also have a working theory about when GTA 6 Trailer 3 will land in light of what they did with Trailer 2. Second, Microsoft has announced a new show that will be happening, a game dev update, and it is next week. It will be specifically about the Xbox Project Helix next-gen console PC hybrid, whatever they decide to call it. Now, this might feel a little bit early, but Project Scorpio, Project Scarlet, they did those early trailers and spun up those marketing pushes, and this is on the heels of some pretty poor hardware numbers from their earnings call. This is likely primed to sort of reinvigorate the fans and the public about Xbox hardware going forward. Third, I'm going to give you my thoughts on SAROS after almost 20 hours, sort of a review in progress going into the launch weekend of the game, and we're pretty much, I think, cracking the case on the handful of folks that were saying that the game was just too easy and they were just breezing through it. Surprise, surprise, I don't think they were being honest. So, if you guys like this content and you're watching later, do me a quick favor and hit the like button and hit the subscribe button and help us out with a huge goal. If you do listen to this content on the regular, $5 goes a long way, and you can use that to become a member, and that is how I do this full time. So if you click join, you'll get a badge and emotes, and you will get access to our members only Discord, and that is how I'm able to do this. We're a fan-funded channel, so thank you to everybody who ensures that those memberships continue. So let's jump into the first one here. Well, the GTA 6 price continues to be a point of concern for gamers and would-be fans. Analysts and speculation started swirling last year that Take-Two could push the gaming market toward $80 or $100 games. But since then, I would argue the market has been very unreceptive to that degree of a price increase. And when this subject came up recently, Strauss Zelnick had the following to say, quote, "Consumers pay for the value that you bring to them, and our job is to charge way, way, way less of the value delivery. How you feel about something you buy is the intersection of the thing itself and what you pay for. Consumers need to feel like the thing itself is amazing and the price that they were charged was fair for what they got." Now, that sounds like he's kind of leaning towards not pushing the price to go up. He wants the price to be lower than what they deliver, but he did set a pretty big bar for GTA 6 as he continued to talk about it. He said the following: "What we think about is making the most spectacular piece of entertainment on Earth in history, and it's a pretty daunting challenge. If we do that, and if we are of service to our customers, then the upside will take care of itself." So that leaves the discussion open. He's saying it'll take care of itself. If we make an absolutely generational game, maybe they can charge $100 for it or something to that effect. Now, let me give you my theory before we move on to my theory about GTA 6 Trailer 3. I think they're going to charge $100 for a digital deluxe edition that will give you 48 hours of early access, because GTA 6's release date is currently landing on a Thursday. That's a little strange. Well, SAROS did that this week. They had a game landing on a Thursday, but if you ordered the deluxe edition, you got 2 days of early access. I was playing SAROS on a Tuesday. See how that works. GTA 6 would then have what feels like an official release date on a Tuesday when everybody would surely be playing and streaming and uploading content about it. So that's my theory. I don't think they're going to raise the base price of the game, but they will be selling tons and tons of copies at $100 because you're really going to want to if you want to play it as early as everybody else. But then, a theory about GTA 6 Trailer 3 hit during yesterday's stream. Many have speculated it would hit before the earnings call that happens in late May. We looked at GTA 6 Trailer 2, the one we're watching right now. Well, when did it land? Well, sure enough, it was on May the 6th last year, which just happens to be a Tuesday. And this year, May 5th, Cinco de Mayo, well, that lands on a Tuesday. Given the theme and the locale of the game, Trailer 3 landing on Cinco de Mayo just kind of feels right. So we're going to be keeping our eyes open for GTA 6 Trailer 3 that day, and while I doubt we get any sort of price confirmation at that point, I do hope we start to see some actual raw gameplay very soon, because everything we've seen right now seems a little too good to be true and a little cinematic. But those are just my thoughts, and I'd love to hear your thoughts as well. So let's move on to the next topic, which is this Xbox event that it kind of randomly got announced. Well, Xbox is on a tear right now with regular communication, tweets, and blog posts from Asha Sharma, and then public statements from Satya Nadella and Asha about winning back the fans after the poor earnings report for Xbox just hit. And now they're continuing the trend. Microsoft will be hosting a game dev update on May 7th at 12 p.m. Eastern, and that is next week. And they say that they will be, quote, bringing highlights directly from the teams building Xbox and sharing technical context and what it means for your work all in one place. So this is kind of designed to be for developers, but we're obviously going to watch it if it is viewable and if it is streamed. It seems that Project Helix marketing and info is starting to spin up, and it does seem like they are taking an approach maybe they didn't take before. They want to reach across and start talking to developers and give them things and tools that they want. That is a fight that they need to win ground on, as third-party developers have really kind of bemoaned having to make games for that platform this year or this gen due to the constraints of the Series S. Now, does this mean that Project Helix lands next year in 2027? Just how much will they reveal? I really don't know. We're going to check and see if this is viewable, streamable, and watchable, and if it is, we're definitely going to be checking it out. And I, for one, hope that they make good groundwork with this, but I still don't think there's going to be a huge push for a return to exclusives and a traditional console. This feels like a way out of hardware for them, but that's just what I think. I'd love to know what you think as well. So let me give you my my little sort of SAROS review in progress. This is going to be a little ad hoc. I didn't really write this, but I put a lot of time into the game. When it comes to SAROS, currently I have about 20 hours in the game, and I want to first just talk about the gameplay pros and cons. Pros is it's a Housemarque game. I mean, they nail it. The moment-to-moment is absolutely phenomenal. You have new things in your tool set that do feel a little awkward initially, but I can say I have 100% definitely hit a flow state with the game. Now, I'll talk more about this in a moment, but if you are wanting to get into that flow state and just get good experience and get your footing, I do recommend using the mods. I don't necessarily recommend turning on the easy mode where you don't have to balance the mods out, like you can just give yourself only good mods. I recommend not doing that, at least play it balanced, but you can make yourself insanely strong. I've been able to successfully run from Biome 1 all the way to, I believe it would be considered like Biome 5. With, I would say, very little trouble. Again, I am an experienced Returnal player. I've been watching streams and footage of people playing this game, and I can definitely see that I play at a level that most people don't. That's not bragging or ego. I was just watching people play and struggling with the first boss in the first biome, and I was like, oh, wow. I do think that really can shade your judgment of a game like this. I have over 200 hours in Returnal, and my reflexes and my instincts are pretty sharp, and for a game like this, they're not that sharp in other games, but they're pretty sharp in a game like this. So I would say the moment-to-moment is absolutely phenomenal. The game just feels fantastic. You've got new abilities, and I think the boss fights are truly a wonderful spectacle, and so I think all those things are good. The only kind of cons I could say about the gameplay is there is some pretty regular out-of-the-frame damage that can happen if you are not constantly on the move and checking your radar. That is something that in Returnal you had to do, but not quite as much, as long as you did the duty of like clearing the room. But now there are rooms with like mini bosses, and the mini boss continually spawns ads, and then those ads can end up out of the frame, and you can end up taking lots of damage. I'm doing a little bit more of that running away and making space thing in this game, but you do start to get your footing, and you do start to feel much better. And that happens less and less. There's also a pretty consistent lack of explanation about certain things, like the fact that you can punch projectiles. You don't have to bring the entire shield out. Bringing the shield out can be a little difficult. I was watching Alana Pierce play yesterday. Raul Coley was there with her, and he got his good dig in with his IGN7 t-shirt. I thought that was hysterical. And even she was kind of, saying like, oh yeah, the timing on the shield is a little funny. So those are kind of the only cons, and I think those are things that you can overcome with adjustment in your own playstyle. Sound design is absolutely phenomenal. Sometimes when you're playing the game, you don't notice it as much, but when I was watching Alana play the first boss, the sound in that room, the sound the boss makes, there's something earthy and haunting, and like it sounds like when trees sort of move and it was almost like when the Ents are marching in the Lord of the Rings, how like they're sort of emulating that sound of wood moving. It's just phenomenal. I cannot express enough how good the sound design is. The spectacle of this game, its art direction, the areas that I got to see just yesterday. This game is breathtaking. If it doesn't win awards for art direction, for sound design, I will be shocked if it doesn't win awards in those categories. Now, nominations-wise, I think this game is headed for a Game of the Year nomination. I don't necessarily know if it can win, but it is truly, truly an amazing game. Now, I want to end this sort of review in progress. I'm keeping it very generic. I'm not getting into too great details, but I do want to talk about difficulty, okay? The people that in like the first day that footage was available and people were playing, there was something strange going on. There were people almost immediately saying, this game is ridiculously easy, it's baby mode, I'm cruising through, I'm almost done with the game, okay? These people, I feel, and this is a theory, I can't prove it, although they are being very selective with their footage, and it seems like they're not necessarily being honest. I think these people are being dishonest. I think they have turned on the mods, and they are just smoking the game. I did this yesterday. I wanted to work on the story, and with working on the story, I was like, you know what? I can turn a bunch of mods on, I can ratchet up my damage, ratchet up my defense, and I can make it so I get less currency, okay? So I was putting some of the painful mods on to make it where I get less currency, because I'm thinking, I'm moving through the story, I can grind for the currency later. That's kind of how I divided it in my mind. I was like, that's how I'm going to splice this. And it was very, very straightforward and very easy for an experienced Returnal player. I was smoking bosses. I was cruising through the biomes, and I'm okay with that because I'm focusing on the story. Once that is over and done with, I will love playing through this game with 0 mods. It's extremely satisfying. Yesterday, I ran biome 1 through 3 with mods. Then I ran biome 1 through 3 without mods, and you could see the difference. Fights took a little bit longer. I took a little bit more damage, right? But my survivability and my power was still impressive because, number one, I'm an experienced player, and number two, that is a really great way to play the game, to run from the early biome all the way to the late biome. So I do think people are being extremely dishonest about the game. I'm already seeing dishonesty about the story. People are once again deciding to just spread falsehood about things that happen. They did this with Ghost of Yotei. They just make up fake narratives to suit their anger, and then they spew it all over the internet. It's just completely made up and completely fabricated, and I believe people are doing that with the difficulty. Is this game easier than Returnal? In some ways, yes. In other ways, no, not at all. This game requires a far greater degree of movement and awareness, and it's got an intensity level that's just not present in Returnal. Now, Returnal, I think, is a little bit more punishing. That doesn't make it more difficult. This game, I think, is more difficult in the realm of speed and intensity, the number of projectiles on the screen, the number of mechanics that you have to juggle. Returnal is a little bit more simplistic. You're not dealing with a shield. You're not dealing with a power weapon. You're dealing with basically 2 things, like your main fire, your alt fire, and stay alive. This game has so much more going on. So if you are coming into this game expecting it to be easier than Returnal and you're just going to breeze through, I'll tell you this. If you can get through Biome 1 and you can get through Biome 2, you will certainly feel like the game is a lot easier once you turn those mods on. You will certainly feel that way. But I don't think that means the game is just flat out easy or baby mode or whatever. This would be like playing through a game on story mode and complaining that it wasn't hard enough. The people that are doing this, the people that are making the game easy and then complaining that it's too easy, they're either dishonest or they're just dumb, or they just forgot that they turned the mods on. I really don't know. But setting a game to easy and then complaining it's easy is again, it's either incredibly disingenuous or you're just kind of a dummy. So that is my take on the game. It is an absolute work of art. It's going to end up being one of my favorite games, probably of all time, right up there with Returnal. Same way I have felt about, Housemarque hasn't really changed. So those are my sort of review in progress thoughts on SAROS after 20 hours. I will be playing more today after I do the roundtable with Ginger. We're just going to kind of continue moving through Biome 4, showing people kind of how, to play those particular biomes and those particular bosses, and then continuing to work on the story as well. So, good morning, good afternoon, and good evening. Thank you guys so much for being here. Thank you for already putting 100 likes on the stream, and I've got some people to thank as you guys, oops, I forgot to reset that. Give me 1 second. Let me reset the dailies for YouTube. and for Twitch. There we go. And I've got some people to thank. So Hasayo renews his VIP Plus, and he says, Lono shows brighten up my morning at work, and he keeps me from boredom at work. Thank you for all you do. Thank you. And then Hasayo, Han shot first, and so did you. First 5 bomb of the day came from Hasayo before I was even live. Excuse me. And then Pete Chalice with the member. Thank you so much, 364. And then Metal Matt gets us a 365. And then Joker Quinn gets us to 366. And then a $5 super chat from Jack Garland says, I'm very disappointed with Raul's death scream. Celine's voice actor went full Wilhelm. Raul just kind of goes, ugh. Thank you so much. And a £5 super chat from Ryan Gasling says, W review. Thank you so much. I appreciate that. Guys, make sure you're hitting the like button as well. Get us to 200 likes super fast. There's a lot of things going on in gaming news worthy of discussion. And certainly the GTA 6 price is one of those things. And a 56-month renewal from Ginger. He says, member plus hype. He says, work and lurk for a bit. Thank you so much. We will be back on the Gaming Roundtable this week. That is like 3 hours from now. So thank you guys so much for being here this morning. Looking forward to that. Looking forward to more gameplay as well. In the realm of Saros being a better mechanical Returnal, how do you feel about Tsushima's combat after Yote? I'd have to go back to Tsushima after playing Yote, but I also think that the people that acted like, Yote wasn't any better or Yote was worse or whatever, Yote's combat was a significant step up from Tsushima. I mean, it really was a great evolution. I think both studios, both Sucker Punch and Housemarque, I think have really flexed with their last 2 releases, with Yote and with Saros. I really do. I think they've absolutely flexed. And I don't know. I think people's instincts to hate on PlayStation anything or exclusives anything, I just think it's very pathetic. Like, I posted pictures last night on Twitter, and there were probably 7 tweets in a row, 7 replies in a row. It's like they're all doing the same thing. They're all saying the same thing. They're all spewing the same hate. And it's like, I mean this. You guys aren't gamers anymore. There are people in these spaces that they're just not gamers. Like, they live on Twitter. And if you try to post a clip or a screenshot and you're like, oh, this game is so great, they are so quick to jump on it and just spew hatred. And it's like, I don't know what you're doing with your time, bro, but you're probably not playing games if that's what you're doing. I mean, immediately jumping on tweets and just spewing hate. Yo, what's good, Feed? I see you in the chat. I'm thinking base GTA 6 might be pushed to $80 because of the ultra premium experience, not $100 for base. I think they're going to sell GTA 6 for $70, and then there's going to be a $100 digital deluxe edition for 48 hours of early access. No, they're not even saying Returnal DLC. Yeah, they're not even spoiling the ending, Gamer Boy. They did the same thing with Ghost of Yote. I bet dollars to donuts it's all fake and phony. They did the same thing with Yote. They spewed a fake ending. They all claimed that that Atsu entered into a relationship with that one lady, and I'm like, number one, that would be kind of gross because she was an adult when you were a kid, so that would be weird. And no, that's not what happened. They took one screenshot, lied about it, circulated it, and these weirdos just gobble it up because they're addicted to hate. Like, anything that can fuel their hate, they just inject it into their veins, no matter how false it is. They just don't care. It's like a drug to them at this point. I think they'll charge $20 for the online. Oh, when they, like, GTA 6 online, you think they're going to charge $20 for it instead of making it free? Do you think we'll get some GTA 6 bundled consoles? I mean, we've heard multiple times from multiple sources that there's some kind of a GTA 6 PlayStation marketing deal. I could see PlayStation trying to leverage GTA 6 with the Pro or bundles or something, especially with the price hike that PlayStation had to do. They're going to want to try to overcome some of that slowdown. They're probably experiencing a bit of a slowdown in the sales of their console. They saw a huge surge in the weeks leading up to the price increase because people were trying, not in the weeks, in the week leading up to the price increase, they saw a big surge. Well, why? Well, because nobody wanted to pay the new price. So once the new price hits, they're probably going to see a slowdown in the sales of the console. So they're probably going to want to do some kind of a bundle. I think that's one of the reasons they did the price hike beforehand, because they know they're going to move consoles almost automatically because of GTA 6. Maybe a 150 edition. 2K does the same thing, and both 2K and Rockstar are owned by Take-Two. Yeah, I mean, I don't necessarily think, thank you so much, Snake Eyes, for 10 streams in a row. I don't think that GTA 6 is going to try to push the base level price of the console past 70. I just don't think they're going to do that. I don't think they want that to be the headline. That's a giant distraction. Now, Strauss Zelnick won't confirm the price right now. Of course he's not going to confirm the price. Now's not the time for that. He's going to kind of leave that as a mystery. Now, I think there is reason for them to say, here's the price once the pre-orders go live. Like, if they're going to want to do pre-orders, they're going to have to give people a price. What's good, Hilly? So I don't see how they can avoid the question for forever. A question was submitted by Champagne. Says, do you think PlayStation's working with Rockstar for the PS5 Pro version to push 60 FPS? I mean, I would imagine they're going to want the Pro to look really, really impressive. I mean, that would be my thought. I would think that they're trying to get it to 60. I don't think it's going to hit 60 very well on the base consoles. I think they'll have a 60 mode, but it'll be very inelegant. I don't think that's going to be consistent. I think the game's just going to be too big. Maybe they figured out some kind of, wizardry with the engine. They went back to their old games, and they started trying to like boost their performance. Maybe they were messing with stuff. I don't know. I predict a lot of Tuesdays off. Yeah, for sure. I don't think we get a base $80 game till maybe after next gen. I mean, they tried it with Mario Kart, and then nobody else has really tried it. What else did they try it with? The Outer Worlds. They tried it with the Outer Worlds. That didn't last. I mean, I don't know. They've been working on it. They have been working on it for many years, says Snake Eyes. Yeah, but that doesn't necessarily mean they can get over basic bottlenecks. I don't care if the game is a 10 out of 10 greatest game of all time. If you're even thinking about touching 100 for the base game, I ain't buying it. I'm not supporting that. I refuse. This is why I think they chose and elected to have a Thursday release date for GTA 6. Just watched your reaction to Saros again. My boy was hype. As soon as I saw Housemarque, I lost my dadgum mind. You know what I mean? Stop coping, please. It will not be 60 FPS on the Pro. The CPU is basically the same as the base. GTA games are CPU bound. You're just repeating the same thing we've heard time and time again. Nobody knows that it's still CPU bound. The last game they made was 13 years ago. You think it's still CPU bound? If they're so CPU bound, why did they go back to all their old games and boost their performance? That makes no sense. It makes no sense to go back to all your previous games and boost their performance right before dropping a game that won't hit that performance. I just don't think so. You're just running with, no offense, Kino Mansky, but you're just running with the same thing people have been saying. That to me, it's such a weird thing to think that, like, after all this time, they're like, yeah, we just went with another CPU-bound setup. Like, we're going to ship on console, and we know that's the bottleneck, but we're going to make the game CPU bound. Like, they're not going to move anything. They're not going to shift anything. They're not going to change anything. They've made no advancements. They've made no improvements. It's going to be the exact same thing as a game they shipped 13 years ago. That's what Digital Foundry said. That's what Richard Ledbetter speculated. They have no idea how the game has been built. They haven't touched it, seen it, or interviewed anybody. I like Richard Ledbetter. I don't agree with his theory. His theory is that the thing they did 13 years ago, they're going to do again. Like, developers don't make advancements. Like, engines don't improve. Like the way they handle the pipeline within the game hasn't been modified, adjusted, or changed. It doesn't make an ounce of sense to be like, oh, no, yeah, they're not going to make any changes. They're just going to do the same thing. You're saying what Digital Foundry said. I know. You're just repeating it. I don't think it's a good prediction. It's you're basing it off of a 13-year-old game. Something else he said was, oh, their games always ship at 30 FPS. They haven't shipped a new game in 13 years. Right? No, Red Dead's not that old. The GTA is 13 years old. When did Red Dead come out? The GTA is 13 years old. Red Dead's 2018. They haven't shipped a game in 8 years. Like, you know what I'm saying? It's like a lot has changed. I don't buy it. You're welcome to make the prediction, but, like, acting like anybody that thinks it's going to try to hit 60, you know what I mean? You said stop coping. No one's coping. No one's coping. I think they're going to target 60, and as I said, it's going to be inelegant. It's not going to consistently hit 60. It'll probably be more consistent on the Pro. I don't think you're going to ship a game in 2026 at 30 FPS. I just don't think so. I don't think they're going to want that as a headline. It's better than realistic to be expecting 30 FPS even on the Pro. I don't think so. I don't think that's realistic at all. I think the market has shown time and time again that it's unreceptive to 30 FPS. Gotham Knights tried to hide it, and every game that shipped at 30 kept it real quiet until the very, very last moment, and then they all pushed out updates at 60. Plague Tale Requiem pushed out an update at 60. Starfield pushed out an update. Like, I think the only one that hasn't pushed out a console update at 60 FPS, I don't think Hellblade 2 pushed one out. So, like, this idea that people are coping for thinking that, like, yeah, we're 6 years into the gen. Hopefully they frickin' figured it out. There's got to be a way to figure it out. There's got to be ways to have tricks and to, like, not just be like, well, it's going to be another bottleneck, going to be another CPU bottleneck. Like, I don't know. Looking at an 8-year-old game and a 13-year-old game and being like, yeah, they're going to do the same thing they did then, I think that's ridiculous. Do we do that with anybody else, by the way? Do we do that with any other game? Pick a game. Pick a really big game with a really big open world. And look at the version of the game, or look at that studio 8 years ago. Are you going to make predictions like that? That would be ridiculous. It would be absolutely ridiculous. Look at all the games that launched this gen with impressive graphics and impressive performance. And if we apply the same logic, well, the game they shipped 8 years ago was 30 FPS. Well, the game they shipped 8 years ago was CPU bound or CPU bottlenecked. It's like, huh? Like, why do we apply this logic only to them, only to this studio? A studio known for, I would say, pretty excellent work. Now, the thing they did with, like, the remaster or whatever that was with GTA was pretty terrible, but, like, these are the guys that made Red Dead 2. Red Dead 2 was so ahead of its time. Red Dead 2 still hasn't updated. This is true. Red Dead is the one that hasn't updated. We've heard there's a rumor that there's one coming, but it hasn't. K. Cole, thank you for 38 months and a member plus. Let me add you to the total. That is 368 on the week. Reverted says population and traffic and high-density crowds always are heavy on CPU usage because of simulation. That has been the case even with Cyberpunk. Yes, and Cyberpunk has made huge strides in improving performance on console. I think we're having two different debates. I'm not saying it's going to be rock solid 60. I'm saying they're going to try to hit 60. Hellblade 2 is at 60 now. So you can play Hellblade 2 at 60 on the Series X. I may be in the minority, but I'm not touching it at 30. Yeah, I have no desire to play a 30 FPS game. I don't care how popular it is. I just won't do it. It looks terrible. The cutscenes in SAROS are actually unnerving for that reason. I go from this insanely smooth, crisp experience to a cutscene that looks like it's skipping. I don't like it. 30 looks terrible. Good morning, Ganks. Is base GTA really going to be 100? I don't think so. Strauss Zelnick was asked a question about the price, and I just don't think so. And a 5-bomb comes in from K. Cole, and he's trying to move the needle, and it's got to go a pretty good ways now. 2 more members, and I owe you guys a member. Whoever hits it gets it. Hellblade 2 is GPU bound. Yeah, listen, the idea, you don't know that GTA 6 is going to be heavily CPU bound. You don't know that they haven't come up with tricks and ways of addressing that. I want you to think about what you're saying, okay? You're saying that a developer that did something 8 years ago and 13 years ago hasn't figured out a way to not do that again, or hasn't figured out a better way of doing it. We're talking about Rockstar here. So Rockstar's not figured out a way to improve it. Like, we can look at what Naughty Dog's done with it games, with remasters and remakes. We can look at all the sequels that have come out, all the big open world sequels that have come out that look incredible, and they're far better. Raven gifts a member and bumps the line by 1. And we're going to look at all these games that came out, and seemingly all these developers have figured out how to improve graphics, performance, density of the world. And K. Cole lands the plane 375. There it is. I owe you guys a member. They all figure it out. But Rockstar is just going to be like, Herder, we have no idea how to make improvements. Like, we just made it bigger and shinier, and we weren't able to improve performance and the CPU bound aspects of the game. And Raven's going to go Agents of Chaos and shoot us past 375. And there is the member that I owe. Thank you guys so much. Like, think about what you're saying. All the other devs out there seemingly are making improvements, and K.Cole does another one. They're all making improvements. Their games are bigger, prettier, and running at 60. But Rockstar is just going to be like, yeah, we don't know how to do it. Sorry, we're just stuck. Like, do you see why it seems ridiculous to me to think that Rockstar is like, yeah, we can't figure it out. All these other studios have managed to figure it out, but because our games 8 and 13 years ago were CPU bound, on old hardware, by the way, we optimized them for 30. Do you see what I'm saying? I do not understand why we use this logic in this particular instance. It's like, well, it's a big game and there's lots going on and there's NPC density and there's going to be traffic and everything else. And I'm like, okay, they built these systems from the ground up. You only need to look at Crimson Desert, even in that Polish vampire game. You see, they want you to use good CPUs. Yeah, but I mean, I wouldn't run to Crimson Desert. That game was optimized very poorly. They spent like a month patching the game into better performance, pretty much on across the board. Like, that game just wasn't optimized very well. I would still argue the game's not optimized very well on console. That has nothing to do with what they're doing with GTA 6. They're completely different games. Rockstar is the same company that pushed the PlayStation 2 to its actual limits with GTA San Andreas. They did it again with GTA 5 on the 360 and the PS3. They won't try to figure out how to push the PS5 and the Pro to their limits. Right. That's what I'm saying, Dirge. All these other people are figuring it out. All these other studios are figuring it out, but somehow Rockstar's just going to be sitting there scratching their noggin, being like, yeah, we have no idea how to improve our game. And a 10 bomb comes in from K.Cole. And he's like, come on, boys. Let's unlock Saturday. We're headed to missing two Saturday streams in a row. We've been on an every other cadence for a while now. And if you guys, listen, I think it'd be so much fun to have Madam play SAROS on Saturday as a stretch goal, but that's going to be a tough one to hit. We're struggling to unlock the stream week to week. So make sure, a great way to help with that, guys, is to check your renewals and check your primes. Those all add to the total. Rockstar spent almost $2 billion on GTA 6. I don't think they're wasting money. I'm not sure anybody is saying they're wasting money. GTA 5 on a PS3 and a 360 still looks modern. Gambling about Red Dead Redemption 2 60 FPS going to be a wild dream. Rockstar don't do DLC or expansions, so I can see them charging $100. I can see them charging $100 for a digital deluxe edition that gives you like 48 hours of early access. Good morning, Sir Mosley. Imagine what Rockstar does with the PS5 in a Series X next gen. There's no comparison to Rockstar's expertise with their engine and their bankroll. That's why I bristle at the idea. I immediately buck up against the idea that they're like, well, their games are always CPU bound and they've always shipped 30 FPS games. And it's like, they haven't shipped a game in 8 years. The last GTA came out 13 years ago. You are saying they are wasting money because you think they're not doing improvements? You are not listening at all if you think that's what I'm saying. You have a severe comprehension problem. I've been saying the literal opposite, brother. I'm saying it's absurd to think that out of all the developers that have made improvements from their last game 8 years ago or however long ago with sequels this gen that look amazing, why would Rockstar not be making improvements? You're not listening if you think I was saying... You're literally summarizing the opposite version of my position. Either you came in like midway through a sentence, which would mean maybe ask a question instead of summarizing what I'm saying if you weren't even here for the whole conversation. I was saying the opposite of that. I'm saying it's absurd to think that they're not making improvements. They haven't shipped a game in 8 years. It would be ridiculous for them to walk out and be like, we couldn't figure it out. The lighting's really cool, and the graphics are great, and there's lots of NPCs. We couldn't figure out this frames per second thing. He's hearing what he wants to hear. Like, I don't know. If you came in midway, you guys have really got to start to put into practice asking questions. Like, if you come in halfway through a sentence, be like, what are you saying again, Lono? I don't understand what you're saying. And then I'll clarify. Be like, you're saying they're wasting their money. What? By not making improvements. No, I didn't say that at all. The console CPUs are old, but it's irrelevant for a console-exclusive launch. The game has to run well on the systems that they're launching in. I just came in. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Listen, that is a really, really weird thing to do. If you come in and someone's mid-sentence, just ask them for clarification. Like, I'm literally on your side. I'm like, they almost assuredly have made improvements. They have almost assuredly made advancements with their engine and how they handle things. There's no way they haven't done that. They're going to be like, they're just going to shrug at the public and be like, yeah, sorry, we can't figure the frames per second thing out. Red Dead had DLC, and so did the older GTA games with Ballad of Gay Tony and the Lost Bikers. Yeah, who said they don't do DLC? They've totally done DLC. What are you talking about? I didn't even, like, take that in when someone said that. Chat be like, who got time for comprehension and context? There's a good chance Rockstar spent 8 years making things to charge shark cards for online. Oh, for Pete's sakes. That's what the entire studio's been working on. You got them. You nailed them. PS4 and the Xbox One, November 18th. November 14th, PC. I'm not sure what you're putting in their Discord, Raven. GTA 5 has no DLCs. Well, he said Rockstar doesn't do DLCs as if it's like a matter of policy. I mean, they have done DLCs. PSSR will get 60. Listen, y'all, PSSR is not a magic wand. If they've not done good work, it doesn't matter. The base game still needs to run well. They can make improvements, but all simulation data is all on the CPU. You don't know that. So the overhead on the game is going to be on the CPU. You don't know that. It's going to be CPU bound. You don't know that. 3 strikes, you're out. You don't know any of that, Reverted Cloud. That's why this conversation sends me into fits. You just said 3 things as if you work at the company. You don't know any of that. You don't think our common knowledge and maybe even a common criticism of the games being CPU bound in those regards, you think they're lost on that reality and like they maybe haven't done anything to try to alleviate? You think in the 8 years since they have shipped Red Dead 2, they've not tried to alleviate that problem. They're just going to do it again. Let's just go one more round of this. Just go CPU bound on significant aspects of the game so that we can't hit good frame rate. It's definitely going to be CPU bound. You don't know that. I need a soundboard so I can just keep hitting that. That's how games are made. I'm a software dev. What do you mean that's how games are made? What do you mean? Games are made in a way where there's advancements, breakthroughs, and better efficiencies discovered all of the time. All you have to do is look at games last gen and games this gen. Games from last gen to this gen, they made changes, they made discoveries, they made breakthroughs. They weren't like, yeah, well, you know, this is what we did last time, so we're just going to do it again. No, they make updates and changes to how things are processed. Why do you think they keep going back to their old games like GTA 5, for example, and figuring out how to make the game look better and run better and get better frames per second? Why do you think they're doing that? You don't think that could be, related to some of the experimentation with their own internal pipelines of like how things are handled within the engine itself? Maybe they're experimenting. You don't know. You think every developer always builds their game the exact same way? If you think that, you don't work in development, because that's not what game devs do. They're always looking for ways to improve. They're always looking for ways to better optimize and create efficiencies within the game. Why? That lets them do more. Scotty B with a Prime sub over there on purple. Thank you so much. I'm currently playing through Red Dead 2. It still blows my mind. This is a PS4 title. That's what I'm saying. Look at Red Dead 2. They clearly figured out new ways to do things and advance things. Red Dead 2 is so ahead of its time. Red Dead 2 looks like somebody time traveled. Red Dead Redemption 2 looks like somebody time traveled. It's like, where did this game even come from? How did you guys do this? Scotty B double dipping with 48 months on YouTube as well and gets us to 389. Thank you so much, Scotty B. We don't know, but we low know. Shut the frick up. Shut up, Kinomansky. You shut your mouth. We don't know, but we low know. That's exactly right. We don't know, but we low know. Nintendo Japan launched a page called "Oh, I discovered some useful tips for using the Nintendo Switch 2." Introduces some lesser-known features. Press and hold the home button at once for access to quick settings. You didn't know you could do that? Or is there more in there that it's saying, Talica? Because I've known that since Switch 1. That's how you like put it into rest mode or whatever it's called. When has a large open world game with a bunch of NPCs not been CPU heavy at least? Still doesn't mean they can't hit 60 FPS. Look at Spider-Man 2. Look at Spider-Man 2. Look at Horizon Forbidden West. Like, Tommy, I get where you're coming from. I get where other people are coming from. The notion that they've made no strides, no efforts, no advancements, it's going to be the same as their old games. That notion is weird to me. It's just weird. It's like, yeah, they haven't been able to figure it out. Can you guys all hit the like button right now? Real quickly. Everybody go crazy on the like button. We're close to 200 likes already. The Witcher 3 has had graphic updates too. I believe Red Dead 2 and The Witcher 3 feel like you time traveled. Yeah, Joker Quinn bumps the line. Joker Quinn not being the ruiner today. He's setting up the dunker. Somebody slam home the 10 bomb and put us on the runway to get to that 500 mark. If you guys want a Saturday stream with Madam, y'all are going to have to hustle. You've got time. You got time. We're going to the Ginger show in like, what, 3 hours. Imagine thinking that Rockstar has not improved its engine and tech in 13 years. Ron, that's what's driving me crazy. Haseo had the same idea, and now Haseo is the ruiner. It'll be a 10-bomb agent of chaos. Somebody do it. We're going to need a bit of a member train today. I've never said it can't hit 60. All I've said is how CPU-bound data works. Okay, reverted. That's not what you said. Member Plus from the Game Effect, let me add it to the total, says Rockstar has released polished games for 20 plus years. It's popular to hate Rockstar because GTA Online and Don't Be Dumb name a bad Rockstar game. Isn't one of the GTAs decried as pretty bad? Anyways, Revertive, my issue is not you saying, if you would have said, if it ends up being the same, this is why it'll be a problem. But that's not what you said. That's not. You said, let me find it. I can't find it. You can't deny the fact how CPU cycles work. I'm not saying it won't be 60, looking at how games. You said they can make improvements, but all simulation data is going to be on the CPU bound. That's what it means. If you're using simulation data, I can't find your statement. Where the heck did it go? They can make improvements, but all simulation data is all in the CPU. So all overhead on the game is going to be on the CPU. It is going to be CPU bound. Yeah, that was what it was. You made 3 statements, and a 10 bomb from Haseo lands the 400 plane. Somebody help out Haseo. He's doing the heavy lifting today. You stated it would be CPU bound. You stated it would work this way. And it's like, you don't know that. You don't know that. They could be making changes. They could have made breakthroughs. I want you to think about something. They made changes to GTA 5. What if in those changes they were figuring out ways to alleviate the very thing that you're highlighting? So being like, oh, it's going to be CPU bound. Everything's going to be on the CPU. Yeah, it's going to be 30 FPS. And it's like, there's no way to know that. Even if you're right, there's no way to know that right now. Do you understand what I'm saying? Let's say you're right. You don't have a reason to be right now other than guessing. You're guessing based on a previous pattern, but that pattern also, I think, has its antithesis in the market. The pattern being Games from 8 and 13 years ago, when they have their sequels or when the developers do new things, they make breakthroughs. They do things in a better way. They get better performance. All of gaming history tells us what it is, though, even Red Dead Redemption 2. No, all of gaming history doesn't tell us this. All of gaming history is actually proving the axiom completely incorrect. Oh, it's going to be CPU bound. Oh, it's going to be 30 FPS. No, all of gaming history actually is a direct refutation to that idea. All of gaming history, the last 6 years especially, points to that's not true. You can't look at games from 8 years ago and make a determinative decision about like, oh no, we know what this game's going to be like. No, you don't. No, you don't. They make breakthroughs all the time. They figure new things out with the engine. This happens all the time with games. We can look at recent games. No, you can look at some games. And I can point to just as many games that have made breakthroughs and have great performance. You can point to games like, and again, you're going to be really selective. You're going to run to like Dragon's Dogma 2. Well, that's an engine level problem as well, is it not? They're learning that the RE engine's not great for open world games, as we saw with Monster Hunter Wilds, with difficulty with optimization and being probably one of the ugliest games performance-wise. Like, it was a very ugly performance mode. So sure, you can find games, but there's more nuance to it, and you know it. You know it. Spider-Man has very little density. Cyberpunk, same. They will stack that city. Yeah. You're assuming that they're going to stack the city and make it all CPU bound. They're not going to have breakthroughs and figure out how to do it and contain it so that when you're on block A, blocks G through F aren't even there. Your presumption is my problem. There are so many games that have made breakthroughs. If you would have seen Spider-Man 2's traversal and fast travel and density and traffic and cars and reflections on the buildings, if I would have shown you that 10 years ago, you'd have been like, there's no way. There's no way. So we're looking at games that Rockstar made 8 years ago and 13 years ago, and they're like, oh yeah, they're going to deal with the same problems they dealt with back then. And yet, somehow, other studios consistently prove this wrong. We can't look at games from 8 years ago and be like, oh no, yeah, that's how they're going to develop today. Open World's going to be on CPU. You don't know the way that it's going to be on the CPU, though. You don't know. You're assuming they've made no advancements. It's just, no, yeah, every single thing's going to be on the CPU. Every single NPC, every single car, cop, every single traffic light. GTA's always debuted at 30 FPS. Yes, always. And the last GTA came out 13 years ago. Dizzying logic. A 13-year-old game is how you're going to make your prediction. Make that prediction about every other developer that's out there. Take their game from 13 years ago. You know what's remarkable? Pretty much every developer that has shipped a 60 FPS game this gen, do you want to know what they did? They always ship 30 FPS games up to now. Wow, that's just brilliant logic. Like I said, the market is a refutation to what you guys are saying. Every single game this gen that came out at 60, that developer always shipped 30 FPS games before. Wow. I don't know how they did it. It's remarkable. Up to now, every time this studio shipped a game, it was 30 FPS. And somehow, some way, they figured it out. They figured out how to do it. Bethesda, but who cares? They updated Starfield to 60. They updated Hellblade to 60. They updated all those games to 60. And they updated Plague Tale Requiem to 60. Plenty of games shipped at 30, and most of the ones that were shipping at 30 were dealing with the Series S. They were Xbox first-party titles. That's not demonstrative of the market. The most consistent thing you can say right now about every game this gen that shipped at 60 is those studios, all their previous games were at 30. That logic makes no sense to me. It's like, well, all the Rockstar GTA games shipped at 30. All games shipped at 30 back then for the most part. What are we even saying? 13 years ago? You think that's some kind of a pattern? The logic is horrible. It's horrible. Let's say the game ships at 30. I'm not that concerned because I'm not going to play it. I'm bristling and getting irritated at the logic because it's horrible logic. We have an entire industry of games that were 30, 30, 30, 30, 30, 30, 30. And 6 years ago, it was like a light switch went on. All of a sudden, we're getting games at 60. And when games broke from that, like Gotham Knights, we had people wringing their hands being like, oh, we're going to go back to 30 FPS games. No, we're not. The consistent theme this gen has been 60 FPS. It has been 60 FPS. All these studios that were consistently shipping games at 30 FPS suddenly figured out how to prioritize 60 and make changes. Omar is correct. You guys understand jobs and tasks a GPU and CPU do? I don't need to understand. That's fallacy of the expert. I don't need to understand what a GPU and CPU does to look at the market and say, all these studios made advancements with their engine. They made changes. They made updates. They figured out how to get more out of their game and out of their engine. And for some reason, you guys think Rockstar won't. You guys think Rockstar won't make advancements and changes. You do for what we're talking about? No, I don't. No, I don't. I'm making analysis based on trends in the market and patterns within the market. You guys are not. You guys are making bad observations about trends in the market because you're basing it off of 13-year-old games, and you're also not listening to anything I'm saying with respect to, like, every single, thank you for the 5-bomb Broken Earth, every single 60 FPS game that has come out this gen, every single one, all their games up to now were 30, and they never would have been able to do the things they're doing now. But for some reason, Rockstar is just not going to be able to get over this. They're not going to be able to figure it out. They're not going to be able to make any changes or updates. It's going to be the exact same thing that it's always been. They're going to put all those things on the CPU. It's all going to be CPU bound. Not a single engine breakthrough. Not a single one. It's like, what? There's a clear tension point, I think. They have to be on the CPU. How do you know that? You work at the company. You understand how their engine works. They didn't make any advancements to remove any of those things from the CPU. It simply must be on the CPU. There's not a single team at the company that thought for the last 13 years, maybe we should figure out a way to do this differently. I understand how sequential processing works. I don't need to understand how sequential processing works to know that the company could see this as a reason to make changes. They're just going to do the same thing the same way they've always done it. So every game we're playing right now has never made changes to these realities. They've never tried to move anything or adjust anything. If it's on the CPU 13 years ago, it's on the CPU today. That's how the Rage engine works. So you work at the company and you're familiar with what the status of the Rage engine right now. You're familiar with everything they've done. You know every jot and tittle of the engine in its current state. So every engine, okay, let's just take the logic then. If this is what you guys are going to say, let's take it all the way to the end of the road. You're saying every engine right now, every game right now, everything is in the same place it's always been. Nothing has been moved, nothing's been adjusted. If it was on the CPU 13 years ago, every engine still on the CPU today. If it was on the GPU 13 years ago, still on the GPU today. Not a single advancement's been made in a single engine with regard to this. It's always in the same place. That's what you're saying. I think that's absurd and likely not true. It stands to reason that that's not true. Lono is saying they could shift the open world burdens to the GPU. Nope, putting words in my mouth. False, incorrect, and untrue. Go back and watch its entire sequence. I never once said that. Your presumption, which is why the entire argument's been a waste of time. I never said that. Then what are you saying? I said they could make advancements. They could make adjustments. Maybe certain things aren't on. Maybe certain sections of the actual city aren't even doing anything until you get there. There's all kind of advancements with instancing that they could do. There's all sorts of things that they could do. Never once did I say what you just said. I never said they could put it on the GPU. I mean, we don't know. Maybe they figured out a way to put something there. Again, I don't understand how it works. All I know is your position presumes every game we're playing now, every engine we're playing now, does the same thing that they've always done. They've never moved a single thing. AOZ says that's not what Lono is saying. He is saying they could solve data races issues that cause bottlenecks to be alleviated. Let me go back. If I threw out a throwaway statement, Omar, and was like, well, they could put it on the GPU. Maybe they could put it here. Maybe they could put it there. I was throwing out a bunch of what-fors. You know that I was not making a technological argument. I'm doing what's called speculative, like, it's just speculation. It's just speculation. The idea that if 13 years ago a game put something on the CPU, that 13 years later it still has to be managed by the CPU, it's like, is there a single game engine right now that that's true of? They've not moved anything. They've not figured out shortcuts, alleviations, efficiencies, proficiencies. They've not figured out any of these things. They're just like, no, yeah, we're just stuck with this. They're just stuck with this. Like, I think that's an absurd position. I guarantee you, if you went right now and you interviewed 5 developers and you said, hey, bottlenecks you were dealing with 13 years ago, are you still dealing with those today with your engine? They probably would say, no. We made a bunch of breakthroughs. We made a bunch of changes. Yeah, the bottlenecks we dealt with 13 years ago, we're dealing with completely different bottlenecks today. We've moved things around. We've adjusted things. I'm saying certain things we are just because that's how hardware itself works. Hang on a second. DK Bayer with a gifted member, and then Hasio with 2 gifted members gets us to 410, and then a super chat from Raven. What was your breakfast, chat? I smell eggs and bacon. I never once in this exchange got into the technical specifics of like what they could do. I've never presumed to have an authority or a voice in that world. But all I know is I've watched an awful lot of studios make huge jumps in their games that don't even compare to the games they made 8 years ago and 13 years ago. That's all I've seen happen. I've seen engines improve. I've seen fast travel improve. I've seen instancing improve. It's like you don't see constant pop-in in these big open worlds like you used to. Like, I've seen all these improvements, and all I ever hear about GTA 6 is, well, they've always shipped their games at 30, and the game's going to be CPU bound. And it's like, you have zero clue if any of that's true. You have zero clue. They could have made adjustments. They could have made moves. They could have made breakthroughs. They could have figured things out that they didn't think were possible 13 years ago. AOZ says, I'm surprised there are so many armchair devs in here. I think AI has made people think they can software dev a little too much. The console CPU is weak. That's the worry. If people phrase it this way, Omar, I wouldn't get wound up. If they said, you know, if they've not made any changes and they throw all this stuff on the CPU, you're probably not going to see much of a difference because the CPU going from PS5 to PS5 Pro, it's not much stronger. It's basically the same, right? That's like conditional. People this morning weren't speaking conditionally. It was like, no, it will be. All this stuff will be on the CPU. All this stuff's going to be CPU bound. And when this stuff's CPU bound, it's going to create a bottleneck, ergo 30 FPS. And I'm like, you know none of that. What's the website to get your coffee? Rageless Roast. Reforge Roast. That's the old name. ReforgeRoast.com. You can use the coffee command in chat. The reason I get frustrated by this is like, you don't know. And then I get talked to like, well, because you don't understand this, Lono. Like, it's almost like again, like fallacy of the expert. Oh, yeah, but you don't understand this. And it's like, I understand that I've watched countless other studios, games, and engines make significant updates and changes to where the games they shipped 13 years ago don't compare to the games they ship now. If I'm wrong, then we probably have 60 on the base too, and I'm happy to be wrong. More dark anytime soon? No. No. I can't afford it. They aim for very high graphical fidelity looking at the trailers, like water drops on the bottles and such. So even if the CPU will be enough for high FPS, they will want to max the graphics. I think that's a better discussion to have than, like, presuming you know exactly how the game is going to work on the CPU. Because we don't know that. Like, that I think is my problem. If we would have seen... Yo, Dudeness, thank you for renewing your member. If we would have seen the fast travel, the traversal, the reflections, how many cars, the density in Spider-Man 2, if we would have seen that 13 years ago, we would have thought, there's no way that's possible. I think that's the problem, is like we're stuck with like an 8-year-old, 13-year-old view of like what Rockstar can do with their engine and a big open world. And we're like, no, it'll all be CPU bound, CPU bottlenecked. They're not going to be able to do it. And it's like, huh? Like, what? AOZ says, as a real software developer, I'm going to chime in. Whether they can do 60 or not has everything to do with whether they began development with that specification originally and course correcting. That's the question. Did they see the dialogue this generation shifting on 30 FPS? And is that related to some of the delays? Is that related to some of the problems with why we've had to wait so long? I don't know. How long do you expect there to be between GTA 6 and GTA 7? Is this a single-gen game they've been designing for? Well, here's the dilemma they're facing, Omar. The longer we've been in this gen, the longer that people have had an opportunity to experience next-gen games at 60. Right? If they are looking at that, I think that reality changes the conversation. Because the farther we get into the gen, the more likely people are going to bristle at that and be like, wait, what? Like, you've got like 100 million people right now hanging out on PS5s that are like 30 FPS. Now, if you're thinking they're okay with that because they're viewing this, as a long tail game and it's not purely for this gen and it's also for the next gen, and they're anticipating having stronger CPU to alleviate this bottleneck on the PlayStation 6, and so in light of that, they're going to be okay with shipping this at 30. I just wonder if the calculus changed because this gen, it was really clear that 30 FPS was a problem. Gotham Knights tried to hide it. Starfield tried to hide it. Like, they wouldn't talk about it. They wouldn't answer the question until it was absolutely necessary. Why? Because they knew it was a negative thing. They knew it was a negative thing. It was being avoided like the plague. Don't talk about 30 FPS. And then games start pushing out updates like Plague Tale Requiem and Starfield and Redfall and Hellblade. They start pushing out 60 FPS updates. Again, if it wasn't baked in from the beginning, that could be related to the delays. I don't know. Because I think this gen, it was like, oh, wait, maybe we won't be able to do that as unscathed as we thought. Now, they'll still make a ton of money, but they don't want that. They don't want negative headlines before the game comes out. And you certainly don't want people buying the game and being like, it runs like crap. That's going to affect their money. That's going to affect GTA 6 Online. If you buy GTA 6 and it's running like Dookie on your base console and you're like, golly, this looks terrible, you're not going to buy GTA 6 Online or play it or spend money in it. And we know that's a cash cow for them. They're not thinking just about the sales initially. Well, we'll sell it to a bunch of people and then it'll be okay and we can kind of go like this and walk away. This is a long-term plan. They didn't make Red Dead 60. Why? We don't know. They're probably facing challenges. Well, there's rumors there's a Red Dead 60 update coming. GTA 5 got an update. Then GTA 5 got like another update. I think they did 2 updates to GTA 5 with respect to like performance and graphics or something like that. How many times have they delayed the game? Like 3 times. I don't know if it's related to 60. I just know there's no way it's not a conversation at the company. There's no way. There's absolutely no way it's not a conversation at the company that, like, this is a problem. It's been 4. It's been delayed 4 times. Oh no, 4 updates. I'm sorry, 4 updates to GTA. The Red Dead 1. Yeah, Red Dead 1 got a 60 FPS update. That's the other thing that I feel like you guys that get on the CPU thing, you ignore. It's like, if that's the case, why on earth is the studio going back and doing 60 FPS updates to Red Dead 1 and GTA 5? Why are they doing that? That doesn't make any sense. You're getting everybody's attention. Did Yote ship at 30? You can run a mode at 30 if you want, but no, it didn't ship at 30. It shipped at 60. There hasn't been a first-party PlayStation Studio game that shipped at 30. Not a one. Not a one. Now, there's still 30 FPS modes, but they all have 60 FPS modes. All of them. Every single one. The most inconsistent one that I've played has been SAROS. There are times in that one biome that it gets bad. They're gonna have to do some patches. It's probably really bad on the base console. The most inconsistent game I've played with respect to 60 FPS has been SAROS. In its defense, it's insane. Like, there's so much freaking stuff going on, but they're gonna have to do some updates to that late game biome. I'm never saying it's impossible, but like we've seen, games that are more simulation intensive require more time and work. Well, again, my hope would be that they've made advancements or they've figured things out to be like, okay, the world is big, but we don't need to have everything running at the exact same time. We can do in-game instancing. What about, and again, I am literally just throwing things out there. I'm not an expert. What about in-game instancing that if you decide to run 60 FPS mode, it tells you you're going to have periodic loading screens. Like, you'll get to certain points and it'll just say, hey, we got to load the next area. And would you be okay with that? I'm not saying they're going to do that. I'm just saying there's a variety of things you can do in games. SAROS has gotten a couple of patches, but I mean, I had the latest patch yesterday and I got to that really late biome and I was seeing frame issues. It's not egregious. It's not bad. It's just inconsistent. It's the only first-party PlayStation game I played that I've noticed inconsistencies in the frame rates. Like Returnal and Horizon and God of War and Ratchet and Spider-Man and Gran Turismo 7. I've never seen these games have issues with frame rate. They're just rock solid. SAROS has just got a lot going on, and, you know, I think they pushed it a little bit too far in some of those sections. I'm not going to deal with loading screens because I entered a new neighborhood. Homie, I'll deal with loading screens every day of the week if it's going to give me 60 FPS. I don't freaking care. I don't care at all. If I got to sit there and get a little spinner, boop, and now I'm in the next area, and I'm getting rock solid 60, I don't give a frick. Yes, it might be a bit of a headache for an open world game. I'm not saying they're going to do this because it would be a bit of a nightmare. It would be a bit of a nightmare. You'd like go to turn around and go back. Like, oops, I made a wrong turn. And then you'd have to hit another loading screen. I don't think they're going to do it. I'm just saying there could be advancements with respect to how the open world is handled to alleviate a lot of the things that we're just presuming are going to be a problem. I noticed one frame dip in Biome 2. Yeah, I got every once in a while, chill will, I'd have like a little frame here or there. I'd like kind of notice it. Very minimal. But when I got to this late biome, I was like, oh no, there's a couple of sections where I'm literally seeing it. So it's not so bad that it's like unplayable. It's just like, oh yeah, little framey, got a little framey there. You know, it gets a little framey. Now, the one guy that said he had like an entire game freeze that killed him, I don't know what he's talking about. In 20 hours, I haven't seen that. Have you seen how mansions work in GTA Online? Most likely have that type of loading screen. When people get that definitive about the unknown, I'm like, okay, like, we just don't know. Not gonna lie, going from no loading on the 5 to waiting for loading on the 4 is brutal. Oh, you talking about like if you go back and forth between the PS5 and the 4? Is that what you mean? Or are you talking about GTA? A lot of games use loading screens. They have found a way to hide it, like elevator rides or moving from outside to inside. That's really tough to just do with an open world, though. It's really, really tough. Like, what are you gonna do? Make me stop at an audio, like maybe stop at a red light? Your audio is bad. I'm hearing static in the background. No, I would check your connection. There's almost 500 people here. I've been streaming for 10 years. My audio is usually pristine. If you're having an audio issue, it is not me, brother. Check your connection, check your wires, make sure your headphones are plugged all the way in. I'm like obsessive about my audio, brother. If I have any issues with audio, my stream would tell me right away. I mean, they would tell me immediately. GTA 5 has a little animation when you enter interiors. Well, that I think you could certainly have in GTA 6. If there are really big buildings that you're going to go into, really large things, like, sure, they could have a loading screen. I don't think they're going to be doing that in the open world. I keep thinking about how Larian had to develop a new memory management system to work on the S, and that boosted PC performance for what it's worth. See, Zubair, you're going into an area where, again, I can't make references to the specific things that studios have done. But I've consistently noticed a trend this generation of studios figuring those types of things out. And I'm like, we really think that Rockstar hasn't figured any of this out? They haven't figured any of this out. They've not been able to alleviate any of those issues that they had in a 13-year-old GTA or an 8-year-old Red Dead 2. I would argue Red Dead 2 right now we all know could run at 60. There's nothing going on in Red Dead 2 that would prevent it from running at 60. It's not some hyper-dense open world. It's a beautiful open world, but it's not like super dense like GTA 6 is going to be. So we all agree that like Red Dead 2 could run at 60. Do we not agree on that? I think we do. I think looking at Red Dead 2, we all know right now they could get it to run at 60. Doesn't that mean they could get GTA 6 to run at 60? They could figure out ways to not have all the NPCs loaded in or something, to not have all the things firing. If you can't see 5 blocks away, does it really need to be happening? Ninja of Shadows with a $10 super chat says, Rockstar can have made advancements in their engine, but it's going to allow full resolution at 60 on console. The game is too ambitious. Most likely can pick an FPS or a resolution mode. Oh, you're saying it's not going to allow full res at 60. I mean, homie, what game does? Homie, what game allows full res at 60? They all make you pick between the high res or the 60. That's like a thing. Been a thing for a while. No, because GTA 6 is ages ahead any game they made. Right, but okay. Let's tackle this another way. Imagine you're working at Rockstar and you're working on GTA 6. And someone says, we want to have an unprecedented emergent living world. And Risic with a member bumps it to 412. We want to have an unprecedented, emergent, responsive open world. Okay? That's the vision. So this is called vision casting or vision transfer, where you have like your leader, your team leader, whoever saying, this is the vision. Now your engineers, your tech homies are going to straighten their glasses and go, well, and then they're going to have all these reasons why that's going to be difficult. Right? Well, you're going to have instances of NPCs and crisscrossing paths and pathfinding, and, you know, they're going to be doing this, they're going to be eating into the CPU, and blah, blah, blah. They're going to say all this stuff, okay? The thought would be that that's the point where they would say, we need to come up with ways to make this work. We need to figure out how to do it. How do you have a living city and not break the game? How do you have a living city and not light the CPU on fire? If that was the vision from the beginning, the hope would be your engineers, your nerdy tech guys are sitting there pushing their glasses up, cracking their fingers, and getting to work and figuring out ways to make this run better, more efficiently. If you're going to have that level of ambition from moment one, I think it's fair to assume you would also then have devs and engineers and people saying, we need to make sure this is done efficiently or the game's going to break. It's not going to work. I have a feeling we're going to be looking at GTA 6 and saying things about how it's a technical marvel. I believe it's going to be, at some level, it's going to be a technical marvel. I think people are going to look at it and say, these guys did excellent work here. They figured some crazy things out. They pulled some ninjutsu on this. They pulled some wizardry. How many studios have we said that about recently? Their in-game engines, their in-game assets, their in-house engines and tools, they perform wizardry with them. Broken Earth with a $5 super chat says, what's the status of Crimson Desert performance on console? If Pearl Abyss can sort that out, I have a hard time believing Rockstar can. Still not great. If they can get Cyberpunk to run at 60, if they can get GTA 6 to run at freaking 60, very different styles of game and ambition, though. I'm just saying, go back to the beginning and envision those meetings. Envision those meetings. If this is the level of ambition that they've had for this game since the beginning, I would hope they came up with ways to make it work. It's hard to go from 1080 to 4K than it is from 1080 30 to 1080 60. Any chance you and your wifey can do a Dead Zone Rogue playthrough stream on Saturday? We opened up the 4th zone last night. We've put a lot of hours into Dead Zone Rogue. I don't know if that would be particularly entertaining gameplay, but we opened up Rogue. We opened up Zone 4 last night. We were actually playing a little, we stayed up a little too late. We hit 15 hours in that game. I would much rather have the stretch goal be Madam playing SAROS, if you guys can hit it. I think that'd be really fun to watch her play SAROS with mods or without mods. That'd be a fun experiment. It was fun watching Alana Pierce play, although Ro Coley couldn't resist. He kept telling her, all right, so this is what you're going to want to do. He kept coaching her. It was kind of adorable. They're cute, but it was fun to watch them. And I was like, oh, it'd be really fun to watch Madam play this. I wonder if GTA, you cannot break game logic even though you can stop rendering outside player view. Right, but if you're not doing certain things outside of player view, that would certainly assist with like the game running well. I just got Dead Zone Rogue last night, haven't played it yet, but excited. Lona, did you try Deep Rock Galactic Survivor DLC? No, I'd have to play in here. I've been so... I could not stop playing Pragmata. I put 28 hours into Pragmata, and now all I want to do is play Saros. So, no. I'm hoping Deep Rock makes its way to PlayStation, and it lands during a drought. If Deep Rock Galactic Survivor comes to PlayStation and it lands during a drought, I'll be able to play that game like crazy. That'd be an amazing cloud game, because it's not super demanding of, like, reflexes. Like, if you have a teeny bit of a latency issue or lag, you'll probably be okay in Deep Rock. As long as you're not playing, like, high-level, crazy environments where, like, you have to get out of the way. There's a 50-50 chance that a Steam Machine announcement happens on Monday. Really? A Steam Machine announcement on Monday? Dadgummit. Scratch my nose. It's not going anywhere. It's not going anywhere. This is true. I can understand being concerned about performance since the consoles are a little long on the tooth, given what we know about the kind of games Rockstar builds. The tech guides do that. The tech guides do that sometimes. There is certainly truth to what you're saying. That, like, they'll push the envelope too far, and then the game will struggle. There is truth to what you're saying. But again, I just think from the very beginning, if this was the vision, if this was the goal, if this was the outlook, then I would think they had to have made that a gaming roundtable. They had to have made that a priority. Gaming roundtable at 1. Set, start, show. There you go. That's how long we have till I go to the gaming roundtable. Guys, if you haven't hit the like button yet, hit the like button. on the channel. I appreciate it so much. Companies are already anticipating mass call-ins and PTO requests when GTA 6 drops. Subair says, why have they been making older games 60? Subair, I think that is the $1 million question. That's the $1 million question. It doesn't make an ounce of sense. Why would they be going back and doing that? If not to experiment, to learn, to figure, to like, are there tricks? Are there... It's likely informative to go back and try to get GTA 5 to run at higher FPS. It's likely informative to go back to something like Red Dead 1 and try to get it to run at 60 FPS. No, it's Marius, it's the same. Listen, the stuff people are saying about SAROS, it's the same thing they did with Yote. It's the same thing. Same exact thing. They're taking a screenshot and they're lying. They did the same thing with Yote. They took a screenshot and just flat out lied. None of those losers and cowards will ever post retractions or updates. They won't. They'll run with that fake false narrative and spew hatred and toxicity, and they'll just move on to the next thing. These people, they just mute. That's all I ever do. I posted some screenshots celebrating SAROS last night. I had 6 replies I couldn't even see. And I was like, yep, I don't care because I know what they're doing. They're just spewing hate. A 5 bomb from Brian. Thank you so much. Gets us to 417. Because they're old games. Enhancer, think about this though. Why would Rockstar spend time going to really old games? Why would they go to a 13-year-old game and update it? Why? What are they saying about SAROS? It's not important. They're lying about the story and the ending. They've got a screenshot and they're making up some... It's not... We don't even need to get into it. Wired Rope, I missed your stream streak. 130 streams in a row. You're insane. To test their new tech while also making money. They're figuring out optimizations. Right, like, if you think about it, having devs at the studio, really think about this. Rockstar has got to be almost all hands on deck for GTA 6. The biggest game of a generation. And they have people working on frames per second updates for GTA 5 and Red Dead 1. There's rumors there's one for Red Dead 2 coming. Why? Rockstar can add 60 FPS patch on old games knowing they'll sell well again. Pad the coffers while GTA is finalized. Homie, why would they spend an ounce of time on that though? All roads lead to GTA 6. Why would you be doing that? Every developer, every single man hour, every single second of the day has got to be dedicated to GTA 6 right now. Just gargantuan. Absurd sized game. Absurd amount of ambition. And they have devs working on a 13-year-old game? Just how many extra copies of GTA 5 do you think they really sold with that update? To prolong the life of GTA 5? I don't know, boys. I don't know. At this point, I feel like they're related. That's what I think. I think they're 100% related to each other. A $5 super chat from Dr. Pimp says, GTA 6 better be 60 FPS, otherwise it's a no-go for me. The game has been delayed multiple times and it's 2026. Should be a minimum no excuse. I mean, I tend to agree with you. Thank you for the $5 super chat, by the way. Enough to warrant it? I don't think companies like this make decisions like that simplistically. I think there's far more nuance and multi-layered reasoning. Zubair says it's either to learn or because they know their players value 60 FPS. Both point to 60 FPS being important to them. Wired Rope says, taking GTA 6 engine optimizations and porting them to old hardware for easy money. Doesn't GTA 5 bring in $1 billion a month from those hacker things? Oh yeah, they make a ton of money. They do. They do. The pushback on what I'm saying is people would say, Lono, that game makes a ton of money. There's still teams at Rockstar dedicated to GTA 5. That's fair pushback. That's something that I would imagine somebody would say in response to what I'm saying. They would say, Lono, come on, bro. There are still people working on GTA 5 to this day. It's an absolute cash cow for them. It's not a cash cow. It's like a cash mountain. I mean, so they charged for the 60 FPS updates? No, they did not. GTA at 30 is a big skip for me too. Have no issue waiting for PS6. Yeah, I'm the same, Nick. It's like, okay, fine, I'll just wait. My backlog's ridiculously thick. You know what I mean? I can only speak for myself, says Saint. GTA is an outdated concept. I don't relate to the title anymore. Also, Grand Theft Auto is not the purpose of the game anymore. No 60 FPS on base PS5. Miss me with that. Yeah, it's a mountain of cows. It's not a cash cow. It's like, it's a cash cow farm or something. I don't even know. It's a mountain of cow. It's a cow mountain. I want it to be 60. I prefer they push the sim over making it 60 when I'll probably be 60 by the time GTA 7 drops. You'll be 60 years old. That's right. Can't wait, won't wait. No, and I kind of hear where Saint's coming from, though. Like, I do think, like, the irreverent GTA, in-your-face game, that being kind of the vibe and what made it appealing back in the day. I mean, I think there are elements of that over time people are just sort of like, yeah, I don't really care anymore. Like, is this really the draw? Like an irreverent game that's, it's almost like a Duke Nukem style thing. I'm not saying it's like Duke Nukem, but you remember like when Duke Nukem was a thing and like it was like cool to be irreverent and like, talking trash and like, is that gonna be less of the reason for this game to be appealing? I actually don't see them tapping into that. I feel like the way they've sold GTA 6 up to this point is it just looks incredibly realistic. It's like that looks like a real city. It looks like a reflection of society. Obsessed with going viral, obsessed with TikTok, obsessed with clips. I'll jump off of a moving car or wrestle an alligator, just for popularity. Like, it feels like they're going less for that like cliche, yeah, man, like that vibe. I think in video games, I get why people like that, but people think we're like returning to that or something with GTA 6. I just don't think so. Those are just cutscenes, though. I mean, I'm just talking about the vibe that the game is selling itself on. That's literally what those cutscenes and marketing are meant to do. Why would Rockstar change how they make billions? They launch at 30, sell billions, 2 years launch PC, billions, then launch an upgrade edition on consoles at 60 FPS. Yeah, I get what you're saying, Beef Motif, but I don't necessarily think that's the thing they're going to do this time. We're too close to the end of the gen. Now, you're talking about a better one they would sell on, like, the PlayStation 7. The PlayStation 6. I believe there will be a 60 FPS mode on the base PS5 and the Series X. It might not look great. That's what I've been saying for a while, Bumble. It'll be really inelegant. Thank you for the 3-stream streak. Weezy says, to be fair, from Vice City onwards, GTA has changed and matured with each game. The side stories are what usually more exorbitant. The same way how Red Dead 2's main story was grounded, with the side missions being more out of whack. Right. I could get why somebody would be like, I don't really get down with GTA, because that's their memory of it, is like just being this irreverent, just sort of like, being bombastic for the sake of being bombastic. But if they're being more mature and more grounded all the time, then I expect nothing less from this game as well. It looks like a reflection. It looks like a reflection of society more than satire. It's not going to be some like hyperbolic, exaggerated satire. You know what I mean? You heard it here first. GTA 6 on the PS7. That's right. Thank you for the $2 super chat, Broken Earth. It's just outdated. Y'all are living the past. None of that is okay anymore. Sell us the game again. Upgrade paths are the standard now. Both PlayStation and Nintendo cemented that. You think Rockstar is going to adhere? You think Rockstar is going to adhere to like what PlayStation and Nintendo have done? Homie, these guys don't give a frick. They'll sell you a toothpick for $25 and you'll be like, give me it. Like, you know what I mean? Rockstar don't care. They're a honey badger. The honey badger don't care. They will literally be like, yeah, here's the updated version for the PlayStation 6. It's $60. And people are like, what? And they're like, if you say anything, we'll make it 70. Shut the frick up. Okay. Okay, we'll buy it at 60. They're not going to do the upgrade path thing. Highly doubt it. Highly doubt it. They don't have to. Florida is hyperbolic, exaggerated satire of modern culture. Is it, though? Is it, though? Rockstar has Rockstar rules, just like Madden has Madden rules. Thoughts on the Resident Evil trailer? I've not even watched it. I just don't really even care. I don't care about a Resident Evil movie. I don't even think I've watched all the old ones. Off topic. Any love for the new Diablo expansion? Heard it's going pretty good. Yeah, it looks like it's doing amazing. I just don't think I like those games anymore. They don't speak to me at all. I see the gameplay and I immediately feel I don't feel bored. I feel nothing. Like, I look at the gameplay and I feel nothing. I'm like, yeah, no. Something happened along the way and I don't like those kinds of games anymore. There's something about the combat and the moment to moment that it's just boring. Yeah. I don't know if it was playing Hades or the Sworn game with my wife, like the Hades clone. I don't know if it's playing through rogues, Returnal being a huge catalyst to that and loving them. I just don't know. I like Diablo's expansion looks like it's doing so well. But I look at those types of games now, like dungeon crawlers. I used to love dungeon crawlers, like loot-based, RPG-based, ability-based dungeon crawlers. And now they just look so boring to me. I'm just like, it doesn't speak to me. I'd rather play Hades 2. If I was going to put a bunch of time into a game like that, I would just play Hades 2. My wife and I put like 50 hours into Sworn. The 1000 PS5 Pro GTI 6 bundle is coming. How much did you smoke this morning? I think you need to cut down. I think you did a little too much. Homie, why on earth? I mean, unless it's a super crazy, awesome artwork and awesome controller with like GTA 6 stuff on it, homie, how in the frick are they going to sell a PlayStation Pro bundle at $1,000? It's, what is it right now for the PS5 Pro? What is it? Is it, they raised it to, I can't even remember. Is it 900? It's 900, isn't it? Wait, hang on. I'm thinking old price. No, he's actually right. I'm the one that's wrong. I was thinking old price. I was thinking $750. I was like, how are they going to justify $250? With the price increase, isn't the Pro? Yeah, the Pro is $900 now. No, he's right. There could easily be $1,000 bundles because that's only $100. That's only $100 more. That could be some kind of like digital deluxe thing with a bunch of extra stuff. Yeah. Well, I'm going to need to take that back. Maybe I need to smoke more. I need to smoke more in the morning. I didn't smoke enough. I literally just went to the old pricing. I was like, $750 to $1,000. I was like, oh my gosh. The price increase tripped me up. Yeah, no, I could see it. Yeah, 2 singles from Siege Master. Siege is going to set up a 5-bomb here. He's wanting somebody to dunk it home. Only smoke when I'm on fire. I only smoke when I'm on fire. That's right. Lona says burn one down, boys. That's right. Cool artwork, cool stuff on it. Yeah. Yeah, I could see 999. They don't want to put $1,000 on the price thing. Yeah, 999. Yeah. My brain just defaulted to 750 because it was, it was 750 up until like a month ago. There it is. Thank you, Siege Master. And I was like, the frick? I was like, $250? We live in a world with a $900 console that isn't a Neo Geo. I feel by the time GTA 6 drops, who's buying a bundle? Everyone who wants console already has it. No, Yana did. Alex comes in and steals it for purple. It's 62-6, but Twitch can claim that victory. Twitch can totally claim that victory. Homie, there are 40-something million people still turning on their PS4s. And Broken Earth, a little too slow. Gets us to 430. We are, however, now a 20 bomb away from 450. So it could be somebody's turn to be a hero. I swear. You guys have got to be quick on the draw. You knew Siege Master was setting it up. I will say, Siege Master and Broken Earth have been the absolute champions lately. They've been gifting so much. Y'all need to help them out. They've been some of the weeks we've been having to have the membership carried by just a couple of people. You know what I mean? I'm sure GTA 6 will move tons of bundles. Yeah, there's like 40 million people still turning on their PS4s. A lot of those people have been waiting for either Call of Duty to make the jump or GTA to come out. So, there's a great deal for the Pro in the UK. You can get it for £200 less right now if you don't mind a damaged box. Why is it 582 pounds, Paul? What's going on there? And a single gift that comes in from Joker Quinn. Joker Quinn loves to ruin it. He's like, oh, a 20 bomb to 450? Let me ruin that. Somebody 20 bomb to screw this guy, please. Someone stick it to Joker Quinn. I love his avatar, too. It's like a little trollish avatar. Loves to ruin it. His little face is sitting there in the gifted box, looking all arrogant. And DB Cooper comes in with a 5-bomb on purple and gets us to 436. Thank you so much, DB Cooper. Xbox event predictions. So if you read the description about it, Jam, it looks like it's directed at developers. It seems like it's going to be almost like an extension of like a GDC kind of a thing. Greetings from Buffalo. Greetings to Buffalo. It seems like it's going to be directed at developers, which I think Microsoft knows they need to win that fight. They need to win that fight. Like they've got to get developers back on their good side to be like, okay, building for them is a smart move. I think they burned a lot of bridges this gen with third-party devs. I tried to tell you guys the whole blame the devs thing that podcasters, YouTubers, and the Twitterverse was doing. I said that's not going to go well. You're basically telling devs to not build for Xbox because if they encounter any problems, it'll be your fault. The way Phil Spencer handled that interview with Destin Legary, and he passively blamed Larian and passed the buck. Meanwhile, Larian was running Defense Force. And an anonymous gifter just dropped a 50 bomb. That's a big one on Twitch. It's now 68-61. We have ourselves a fight. Listen, I really want to see us hit stretch this week so that Madam has to play SAROS tomorrow night. Can you guys please make my wish come true, all right? Somebody just put you guys well in position to do it. An anonymous gifter just dropped a 50. Let's have a bit of a back and forth. Twitch, take the lead. Make YouTube fight for the lead today. Whoever wins the day, I'm going to drop a 5-bomb on that channel that wins the day. I know I do a single gifted every 25. Whoever wins today gets an extra 5. So let's see you guys fight for it today. Yeah, the blame the devs thing, and then the thing that Phil Spencer did with that interview, I was like, that's not a good look. That's not a good look. It's like you're making people not want to build for Xbox. I'd like to think MASH is out there somewhere. Lone Wolf with the 5 bomb gets us to 491. I have publicly made it very clear that MASH should come back. He doesn't even have to gift. Just come back and hang out. I liked sparring with him about Xbox. He was funny. Apparently there's new backgrounds for Xbox rolling out the new logo. Blame anyone but Phil Spencer. No wonder Xbox is dead. I'm just here to tell you that when he did that interview, what did I say? Right? If you drop a 5, I'll drop a 5, says Alex. Train incoming. Predator comes in with a VIP. Thank you so much. Who are you talking to? Johnny Always with the Prime over there on purple gets us to 493. I'll drop a 5 on the train. Oh, the train's getting ready to start. I think you guys have to fill in that second check mark, though. I don't think the train will start if you don't get that other check mark to fill. I think you got to do them now. Did you count my gifted right before the stream started? I did. And Kardoc Ren says, let's get ourselves a hype train. And he drops the 10 bomb, and then a 5 bomb comes in from Alex. And we're now on the runway. Let's do it. It's 77-74, and Drewski drops a 10 bomb on Twitch and takes the lead even further for Twitch. 87-74. Where are you, YouTube? And Wired Rope says, let's add some more and a 5 bomb to get us to 523. And the Malice one drops a 5 bomb to get us to 528. And the hype train is off to the races. We're already at level 10 on the hype train. The record is level 17 on Twitch. Off topic, Lono, but you should start an OnlyFans where it's clips of you being right. You would sub. Why would anybody sub to that? You can just watch me on YouTube and I'm right most of the time. Why would you? You don't need an OnlyFans for that. Just watch the show. You know, that's a Monday. I was too slow? What do you mean? You guys crushed it. You guys have a level 11 hype train as soon as it stinking started. And a 5 bomb comes in from Broken Earth on YouTube. It's 97-79. Admit it, Lono, you like SAROS, but it'd be a lot cooler if they added extraction mechanics. Listen to me. Listen to me very carefully, Jack Garland. I will find you. I will. You shut your freaking face. And the Milked Out drops a member on YouTube and gets us to 534. 3 away for Lono to give up some. Trying to get Lono on OnlyFans. Also add season wipes to SAROS. I freaking hate all of you. SAROS would be a much better game if there were some extraction mechanics and some seasonal, some 4 seasonal wipes. Igor says someone dunk a 20. What's the score? It's 97-80. Yeah, if YouTube drops a 20, they take the lead. He will find you and I'll help him, says Zubair. Have you seen the DMG drama? Mass blocking high-profile gamers and content creators, even those who have never interacted with them? Oh, do you mean somebody who I said years ago was not cut out for that position is blocking people for no reason? Gee, I'm so surprised. Somebody who's literally supposed to be in charge of, interacting with the community isn't cut out for the work and is blocking people for literally no reason. I'm so shocked that that's happening. Listen, nothing against the guy. I have no idea why they brought him back. I just have no idea why they brought him back. And a 20 bomb comes in from British for YouTube. Team YouTube takes the lead. It's 100-97. All right, Twitch, you're on a hype train. What are you going to do about it? SAROS doesn't need extraction. It just needs some light PvPvE. Frick you. And a Prime sub comes in from Paul. We're 20 away from 575. I owe a member to Twitch, which I'm going to do now, and I owe a member to YouTube. I owe one to each of you. We are 20 away. Somebody can dunk it right now to 575. And a 20 bomb comes in from Kev over there on YouTube. 575. I now owe 2 members of YouTube. Twitch, they just took the lead by 22. You're going to take that lying down, Twitch. You got to push back, Purple. Whoever wins gets a 5. Thank you very much, Kev. But the person blocked can F off too. Here's the thing, though, Fuzzy. Here's the thing. I don't know why community managers haven't learned this. You don't. Why block? Just mute. You give them so much power. And a 5 bomb comes in from Broken Earth, and we're now 20 away from 600. Letting people invade your game in Saros sounds great. Shut the frick up. Also, Fuzzy, why block people you've never interacted with? The one guy, I don't know who any of these people are, Fuzzy. I don't know who any of these people are. But the one guy never even interacted with him. He's like, I've never interacted with the guy. Amskin with 9 months and a prime on purple gets us to 581. There's 30 seconds left on the hype train, Twitch. You better act fast. There it is, Neo Reaper with 16 months and a VIP plus. Let's be real. What Saros really needs is a battle pass. I hate all of you. I do. Saros. Does Saros have repeatable bounties? Saros PvP? DLC leaked already for Saros. Break the cycle and extract. Detective C says, guys, stop. We don't need Housemarque stealing artwork next. Their art team's too good. And the hype train has come to an end on Twitch. It was a good run, Twitch. You got it to level 11 in the blink of an eye. I've never seen that before. That was the fastest level 11 I've ever seen on Twitch. There are bots you can set up that auto-block people if they follow or like certain things. Maybe that. Yeah, you kind of already extract. Shut the frick up. Shut up, Paul. Shut your whore mouth. You shut up, Paul. Just shut up. That's the rest of the show, is me telling Paul to shut up. It's going to be 2 hours of that. Oh my gosh. Can you imagine how sad Lona would have been if Saros weapons had been nerfed for PvP? I would have pitched an absolute fit if Housemarque came out and said, what we really wanted to do was break into the extraction market with our next game. I'd have been like, no! That'd be like a nightmare for me. Like, I wake up in a cold sweat, and I'm like, My wife's like, what's the matter? Are you having a heart attack? I had a dream Housemarque was making an extraction shooter instead of the spiritual sequel to Returnal. It was terrible. Oh, by the way, I love Saros. It is just phenomenal. It's everything I wanted and more. I love it. I really, really do. They crushed it. They absolutely crushed it. Oh. All right. You guys have 2 hours, okay? You have 2 hours to hit the stretch goal. If we hit 750, Madam has to play Saros tomorrow night. We make the gaming news segment shorter, and then we'll have her play. We'll have her play with mods and without mods. We'll see if she can't get, past first biome. We'll see. Lono sold me on Saros when you said I can only turn on easy modifiers. I'll be buying the game today. 809, if you're an experienced Returnal player, and especially if you start with Biome 1 and you start to get your footing, you will have a good time. You will also, I think, do very well. I still think some of the later biomes are absolutely brutal, and I think people were cruising through them because they had turned on basically easy mode, and I think a lot of them are liars. I do. I think a lot of the people on Twitter were just flat out lying. I think they had turned on all the easy mode mods. The one guy literally got called out. He was like, you're clearly running mods. And he was like, well, he didn't really have a response to that. So, yeah. A $5 super chat from Charles Hawk says Saros Battle Royale. Thank you for the raid, Chrono. I'll be over there with Chrono in about 2 hours. I don't even know what we're talking about today. I just love hanging out with the boys and talking gaming. I wish Returnal had the easy mode. TJ, you have said some things, to get a reaction over the years, and you can be a little cantankerous, but you better frickin' watch yourself, okay? You're on notice. You start talking about my baby, you start talking about Returnal, and we're going to have words. And those words are going to be, you banned. Lono, I enjoyed Returnal. However, I hated that the shape of the rooms changed when you died. So I stopped playing because of that. Why? Why did that bother you? It's a rogue. That element shows up in... Well, it's not the shape of the rooms. The order of the rooms changed, Lion. You can memorize the rooms. They just show up in different orders. Are these mods the permanent upgrades or something else? I'm in Biome 1. Once you beat the Biome 2 boss, you get a modifier where you can add things that make you stronger, but you have to balance it out. It's like this meter. You're like tuning the run. You can go into the settings and you can make it to where you don't even have to balance it. You can just turn all the good ones on and none of the negative ones. And I think people are doing that. I think people are cruising through the games, and I think they're liars. I think they're lying. I think it's so easy. I didn't even die. I beat Biome 3, 4, 5, and 6 like it was nothing. It's like, yeah, you turned on easy mode. You're a liar. Like, listen, I had mods on at one point, and I was getting chunked. And I had my mods stacked. Now, I had them balanced, but I had all my negative mods were just like less currency. Like, I had all my mods at no currency, and I was still getting chunked in some of those late biomes. I guarantee you these homies turned on the setting. 10 stream streak. Thank you, Teller. New record. Nice. That's a lot of streams to watch in a row. Hey, we got some coffee orders. Predator ordered 3 bags of light roast. I don't know why I'm getting... Why is this happening now? Why do I get 2 emails? No, you did 2 orders. Did you mean to do 2 orders, Predator? 2 different coffee orders from Predator. If you guys want to support the channel and you're a coffee drinker and you want a 12-ounce bag of coffee for $10, then use the coffee command. It supports me. The kids make thank you notes. It's like supporting a small business. You get the modifier page before that if you die multiple times. What? Wait. Say that again. Is that true? Keeg the Geek says, I'm drinking the coffee right now. It's super good. You meant to do 2 orders. Thank you, Predator. Is Imperial Mushroom correct? If you die too many times, does it just unlock the modifier thing for you? I mean, homies, I was kind of cooking. I beat the first Biome boss the first time I faced him. I was watching other people fight that boss, and I'm like, maybe I am pretty good at this. I don't, I mean, I know I'm good. Like, I'm not acting like, oh, I didn't know I was good at this game. I'm not trying to be, like, false humble. But, like, I was watching people play that boss, and I was like, dadgum, people are... I'm not going to be mean. They don't play the game as much. You know what I mean? Dirt says yes. I got it before beating the second. Holy frick. I would love to know if there was a way to see if that was true. Because what if some of these guys boasting about how easy it was, what if they hit that wall, couldn't beat Biome 2, and then it unlocked for them, and then they go in the settings and they say, oh yeah, no negative modifiers required. They stack the easy mods and cruise through the game. You got to die like 5 to 6 times in a row. Yeah, because I beat the Biome 2 boss my 4th try. I beat Biome 1 boss the first time I met him. And then I beat the Biome 2 boss. I beat him my 4th try. Because I tried 2 times in front of you. I tried once at home. Like once at home, once in my living room. And then I fought him in front of you guys and beat him. If you die 5 times in a row, it unlocks. Explains a lot. Yeah, it explains a lot. It wouldn't shock me. Wouldn't shock me at all. So you can just go die multiple times to trash mobs? Yeah, it wouldn't shock me at all if some guy died a bunch of times in a row, got that modifier thing, went then, changed the settings, and was like, yep, time to cook. And he's like, this game's easy. My wife died a bunch of the profit, and it gave it to her. Dirge, as much as you play this game and as good as you are, I assume when that happened, you filed for divorce. Like, not in my house. No scrubs. No scrubs. Get the frick out. Pack your oh, frick. The Jim D with the renewal of the Member Plus. Thank you so much. He's like, you get out. I told her to leave it alone. He's like, don't you dare use that. You use that and we're done. You hear me? 20 years of marriage, 4 children, and a beautiful home. You touch those mods and we are through. Do you understand me? She was like, but it helps. And you're like, I don't care. Oh, frick. That's funny. Those are not the stick skills he married her for, Alono. I mean, everybody's got their priorities, you know. Everybody's got their priorities. Oh, golly. Like wipe on purpose? You're supposed to wipe on purpose when you go to the bathroom, you freaking weirdo. Void Diver. Keys inside. What is Void Diver? Action RPG, roguelike, co-op, PvE extraction twist. Wow. Is it going to come to console? April, new diver. June, next fest submission. Next journey. Huh. It seems like a cool little game, honestly. It's called Void Diver. Huh. I'm invited to a TikTok creator growth challenge. Yeah, I'm good. I got Biome 2 on my first... Biome 2 boss on my first try. Biome 1 boss took me 4. You know, it's interesting, too. So I was when I was watching... all the words. It's like every single genre in one game. When I was watching Alana Pierce play... and I was watching somebody else's clip on my Twitter timeline dying to the first boss. I really do think... When I say I speak the game's language, I think that is the best descriptor. Like, I'm seeing things that they're just like not seeing. I'm like, don't you see that telegraph? Don't you see that coming? Like, don't you know what I'm saying? Like, remember when I said that the Biome 1 boss glitched? It was because he kept cycling flowers, and when he cycles flowers, you can't damage him. So he'd like let me damage him for a little bit, and then he'd cycle flowers. Like, I do think the bosses can get glitched. I do. But like, I'm watching people's clips when they die or when they're having a hard time, and I'm like, don't you see that? I'm telling you, when you've played Returnal as much as I have, I just speak the game's language. I just see. I'm like, oh, it's going to be that angle, that angle, that angle, that angle. Like, I can see the telegraphs, I can see the blue. I don't know. It's almost like you have a decoder ring for the game. I wanted to post to me absolutely baking the final boss, but spoilers, that's fine. Biome 2, it's getting rough. I still have a hard time navigating while shooting. I will say Biome 2 has some rooms that are ridiculous. You just have to make space and run and fight, and then make space and run. You got to move. You have to relocate and make space a lot more in SAROS than Returnal. I was watching your first boss kill. I did things a bit different. I absorbed a lot of his corruption shots and fired back ult shots. You were absorbing by punching or using the shield? You can punch through some of his green attacks, some of his corrupted attacks. It's hard to time because the big green wave, you'll punch the front of it and the very back of it will get you. The very back of it will get you. So I just opt to dodge those green waves. I saw a lot of people shooting the boss during his invulnerability phase and not seeing the eyes on the side. Yeah, the time that I took 10 minutes to kill him instead of 5 minutes, he just kept cycling the eyes. It was like he wouldn't go into like a damage phase. He'd open and then like more eyes. It was like he just kept doing it. I'm telling you, the bosses glitch out. They do. The Biome 2 boss glitched out on me the one night I was playing on my couch. He would start an attack, stop, start an attack, stop. He would never complete his attacks. Like, you know, his like beam attack where you get away from the yellow beam but you can absorb all the blue. He would start that and stop it as soon as it came out. I was like, what the frick is this guy doing? He completely glitched out on me. I think the bosses can glitch. I think there's some things where their attacks don't proc properly and they get stuck. Like the first boss did that to me the other day. I was like, that took forever. It's because he just kept cycling the flowers. I'm not sure what causes it. Lono, as a fellow father, it's amazing to see you work your butt off to take care of your family, doing what you love, and seeing how good you are at it. We need more fathers like you. Much respect. I mean, I appreciate that. I don't know how much you see of me being a dad, but I thank you for that. Not gonna lie, watching you beat Biome 2 boss first time when unintentionally wiping your progress was somewhat amusing. Yeah, that was frustrating. And I got right back in and did it again. I was like, it's a rogue after all. You know what I mean? It's not like I'm not going to rerun Biome 1 and 2. Yeah. I was accidentally punching through the yellow shots on instinct during the first boss battle. It's valuable strategy, and it felt intuitive. It is, because it kind of feels like it's like a mini dodge. It's like a mini dodge. Instead of like dashing, you're like, boom, boom. You almost can treat it like it feels like a mini dodge if you do it right. The first time I died, I didn't see the eyes. The second time was like, oh, duh, and it was easy. Return to Passage, we remember. Housemarque creating the sound design for SAROS. When I was listening to Alana Pierce's stream when she got to that fight, that like, it sounds like a tree moving, almost like the Ents in Lord of the Rings. There's like this earthy... like that sound, I can't mimic it. I can only mimic like the punctuation. That is, it's ridiculous. It's the sound design in this game is so stupid. It's so good. They absolutely cooked. If they don't win for sound design, I'll be blown away who beats them. I'm like, who's gonna beat them? Who's gonna beat them? I treat it like a parry. You should treat it like a parry, because later on. Yeah, just treat it like a parry. Treat the punch like a parry. One thing that happened to me, I did Biome 1 to 4 run. I hadn't previously beaten Biome 3 or 4 yet. So when I beat Biome 4 and went back to the passage, the story made no sense. Huh? How are you skipping story elements? You go back and it just like launches you into story. You have to... Oh, did you just not go back? I didn't know it let you do that. I didn't think you could do that. Might be crazy with Pulse 3D headphones. I think they're going to win for sound design. I think they're in strong contention for art design. I really do. I think they're in the strongest contention for art design. The only game that could beat them this year for art design was maybe Control Resonant. Because the other games look good, but not like this. SAROS is in a league of its own this year. Pragmata's pretty dadgum good, but SAROS? Come on, boys. These environments are ridiculous. The only part where it tips over a little bit is the facial animations. That's not art direction, though. That's like technical execution. Sleeping on Phantom Blade. Phantom Blade isn't going to win for art direction. I don't think so. It looks good, but it doesn't... SAROS is... I'm telling you, there's just something special about it. Like, there is something otherworldly, but also recognizable and disturbing. They are the masters. They are the masters. Their art team is so good. Invulnerability after dash is god tier. That perk will jack you up. I forgot I had it, and I was like, man, these iframes are really generous. I was like, these iframes are really generous. And then my next run, I was like, why isn't this working anymore? Because I was like, you could like dodge through and almost like have a second to run after. And I was like, man, they made the iframes really generous in this. And I forgot that I had that perk, invulnerability after dashing. And my next run, I was like, what the heck's going on here? Yeah. I didn't have that perk, boys. That perk's a game changer. It is. Playing Saros and Pragmata at the same time and can say they're both fantastic, but Saros is pulling me away. Immunity after dashing and integrity kills in the same run's amazing. Yeah. The only real time you're in danger when you have that is like a boss fight, because you won't be able to get those integrity kills. You know what I mean? Phantom Blade could win for audio. Homie, I'm just here to tell you, I think they've already won audio sound design. I mean it. I don't think they can be beat on sound design. I don't. I played a lot of games in my lifetime, and this game is just exceptionally great in that department. I mean, it's exceptional. Let me check on something here. Hang on. Dadgummit. You put that stinking GTA 6 in the title, and that's all you get found for. We talked about it for a while, though, at least today. I think we did a good job staying on topic with GTA 6 for a while. My only complaint, which isn't really a complaint, is the skill tree upgrades really do help you make you feel overpowered once it's filled out. But I cannot fill out as much to keep the challenge. Yeah, I'm kind of curious about that. Lono, I sent you a gift in Discord. Happy Saros Friday. What did you send me? Stop it. Why did you make this? You guys need to quit. The AI stuff's getting disturbing, okay? Jiminy Christmas. Like, boys, you can't be doing this kind of thing, all right? First and foremost, Rahul Kohli is dating a lot of peers. Listen, I have so many questions, all right? Why do we have matching cowboy hats? Number one. I mean, I'm not against it. Just, why do we have matching cowboy hats, you know? Number two, okay, I wonder if you got the height right. He is having to lean down. I'm a short man. How did it nail my t-shirt, by the way? That's my Transformers t-shirt from the other day. This is ridiculous. This is absolutely ridiculous. I'm trying to have people on the show, and this sort of thing, you're gonna get me in trouble. Alana's gonna be like, "No, you are not doing the show with that guy. He's gonna friggin' try and steal you away." Brokeback Mountain vibes. Good night. You know, listen, you pay a man a couple of compliments, and you guys think something else is going on. You know, just because I said the man's handsome. Jiminy Christmas. Lona looks so happy. Never seen Lona look so happy. Lona, you look so happy. We're so happy for you. That's ridiculous. Got the height right. Yeah, he's having to lean down. Oh my golly, Brokeback Carcosa. That's right. Welcome to Carcosa. That's one of the best points in True Detective Season 1. And that homie says that. That is absolutely terrifying. It is truly terrifying at the end of the series. Whew. I kind of want to watch that again after reading The Yellow King. That's the Kentucky way. That's right. It's just a little gaming sesh with the boys. All right, guys, you got an hour and a half before I go to the round table with Ginger. We're talking all sorts of things. GTA 6 price. We're talking SAROS. You know, we're talking about crushing on Rahul. We're talking about, what was the other thing? Oh, yeah, the Xbox dev thing next week. I liked all the seasons, Fuzzy. I didn't dislike any of them. I didn't like the most recent one as much. It's like my least favorite. There were still elements of it that I enjoyed. What similarities have you found between the King in Yellow and SAROS? Well, there's references and Easter eggs to the Pallid Mask. There's references to, like, losing your mind. He's searching for somebody in the book. He's searching for Genevieve. You know, he's going mad. So, like, Yellow King is not that great, I'll tell you that much. It's not. There are sections where it shines, and the rest of it's just kind of weird. They also make references in SAROS to a black door, and there was something in the Yellow King where people could pass through a door. It was like this edifice in the center of town. It was a way to voluntarily self-delete, like people that just didn't want to live anymore. Yeah. He also visited somebody who was really, really strange, but seemingly understood everything. And that kind of reminded me of how he was talking to the guy with the painting and stuff. It's all very loosely tied. It's not super direct. It isn't. Like, I don't, like, yeah. Just woke up and playing SAROS all night. The thing that keeps going for me that Returnal never did was it keeps calling me back. So it doesn't have a lot of references. No, it has a lot of references. I watched the Alana Pierce stream with Raul and noticed they seemed kind of close and wonder if they were hooking up. They're not hooking up. Yeah, they've been dating for a long time. Dating since 2019? Yeah. Yep. Equal parts beautiful. I mean, they're just both so good looking. I mean, that's how it works, right? You know, sometimes the stars align. So no, I think it has a lot of references, but I think that it's not direct. It's not like, yep, and I know what's going to happen next. It's not like that direct. They're here and there. They're different things. If you've read The Yellow King, you will pick up on things like the Pallid Mask, and you'll pick up on things about the lake and the shore and the King in Yellow and it being haunting and the people that basically go mad. Like, the book is supposed to make you mad when you read it. So, yeah. So yeah, yep. I'm enjoying the game immensely. I almost just said, we're gonna boot up today and I'm just gonna play it. But is the book sci-fi? No. It takes place in like, I think it's futuristic, but not like sci-fi. Like it, I guess it's kind of futuristic. Like it's like New York. He's like in a future time. Returnal had me discouraged when I die. SAROS, I'm encouraged to keep going. I don't know if they'll ever loop back and make changes to Returnal, but I will say there is one thing they could do in Returnal that would have helped immensely. I think whatever previous gun you were using, you should start with. I think that would make a pretty big improvement on not the game itself, but it would make somebody realize like, oh, I was kind of cooking with that carbine and now I've got that carbine, and just have it use the most recently unlocked perk, right? Like whatever level 1 perk. Like if you unlocked Rising Pitch level 1, you start the game with a carbine Rising Pitch level 1, something like that. I think that would be very, very helpful. I just don't think people realize that they're getting stronger in Returnal. I think it's way, way more difficult to deduce. And this time around, they were like, no, you literally are going to know that you're coming back stronger. And what I think is beautiful about Returnal is your skill in a game is largely unseen. Like, it's measurable because you can kind of see how efficient you're being. And the more efficient you are in Returnal, the more you unlock and the more you get, like the guns and perks and things. And there's a moment where those two things kind of come together and they like lock into place. Where like your skill in the game and the number of guns you've used and perks you've unlocked, they come together. It's almost like two puzzle pieces fitting together and you're like, oh, I get it now. Like, I am really good. I've got way more things at my disposal. You also get things like a grapple hook and boots to walk in the red liquid and a breathing apparatus to go into the water. So there's that Metroidvania element of like, well, now I can get more stuff on a run. If I can get more stuff on a run, I'm going to be stronger. So there's a dovetail moment in Returnal where you're stronger as a player, but you're stronger also mechanically in the game. The mechanical strength just so out of the frame for people. They don't know. It's hard for them to know that they've made that level of progress. Because now when I play Returnal, it's like you can't touch me. As soon as I start to get a little bit of momentum and some decent guns, you can't touch me. I'm gonna be a force to be reckoned with. Not only because I'm good at the game, but because I've got all these things at my disposal. That's why when I almost died the other day in Returnal Biome 1 to 6, when did it happen? It was really early in Biome 4. Why? I didn't have anything yet. It starts you over. It's a soft reset. Biome 4 is a soft reset. So it was like, yep, I just lost all my stuff. And that's the most vulnerable I'll ever be in that game. I get a little bit of steam. I get a decent weapon. It's over. It's over. I'm going to have to make a significant number of mistakes to die. A significant number of mistakes to die in Returnal. It's so random. It's so rare. Like, whenever you come back in the game and it said somebody avenged you and it gives you something, that has happened to me once in all the times I've played. Because I would just grind 4, 5, and 6, 4, 5, and 6, 4, 5, and 6, biomes 4, 5, and 6 to unlock the weapons. I just never died. I just got to that point where it's like, no, I'm not going to die in this game. Are you kidding me? And then I had an early death in Biome 4. I just couldn't get a good gun, got in a room. I was like, I made a couple dumb decisions and I died. And then I came back like a couple of runs later or a day later, and it's like, oh, somebody avenged you. And I'm like, what the frick? Somebody avenged me. Most of my deaths that I did experience would happen in like Biome 5 and 6. People are not going to avenge you in Biome 5 and 6 because they know it's a high risk and it ain't worth it. People will avenge you in Biome 4 because they're like, yeah, well, maybe I'll get something. It's so early in the run. In fact, I think that's what killed me. I think I was trying to avenge somebody early in Biome 4. I'd be interested in you playing the first Biome fresh with no upgrades to see how you compare it to Biome 1 in SAROS. I beat the first in SAROS on my first try in my second run. I died many times in Biome 1 before ever making it to the boss. I've thought that would be a really, really fun thing to do. With as much as I love Returnal and SAROS, it might be some fun content for the channel to, once I feel like I've completely exhausted SAROS, it would be really fun to start over fresh with SAROS and never use a single mod. Never use a single mod. I'm allowed to use upgrades. I'm allowed to use the skill tree, but I would never use the modifiers and just see how well I can play SAROS. I've also thought the same thing about Returnal. It'd be really fun to do a total fresh playthrough of Returnal and just see, like, because I think Biome 1 in Returnal is really freaking tough because you can get completely screwed on your weapon. If you get a Dreadbound in Biome 1, the Dreadbound sucks in Biome 1. You're going to have a really, really hard time keeping up your damage and your stun, and you're going to take damage from basic adds in Biome 1. Biome 1 is very much weapon dependent. from that point on, you've got enough at your disposal that you're probably okay. You can just use a weaker weapon that's still fine. You know what I mean? You'll play around with modifiers once you beat the game. I'm handling the modifiers in a different way. I'm happy to make myself a bit of a god with the mods just so I can experience the story. Like, I don't want the story like held at arm's length from me. Like, well, you didn't beat the boss, and now you don't know what happens next. Like, I kind of am enjoying just being a force to be reckoned with in the game so that I can kind of see what happens. Again, even with the mods, I could die. I could get chunked. Like, it is an intersection of, like, I basically am getting to take a shortcut. I have the skill from Returnal, and I'm just getting to bring in the power already with the mods in SAROS. I'm getting to kind of shortcut to that dovetail moment that we were just talking about. You can do full runs in 1 hour and 30. Full runs in SAROS? Biome 1 to the end? I did a pick up everything last night. It took you 1 hour and a half. That's incredible. Now, did you have mods turned on? That feels like you would have mods turned on. You're like melting everything if you're doing it in 1 hour and a half. Like, you've just got to be just demolishing every room and boss. That's fast. 3 on each side. Okay. Game Rant on topic says, Housemarque's SAROS versus Returnal, which game is better? They're saying one has an edge over the other. Cryptic and strange narratives. One mistake is all it takes. Reflexes to the highest degree. Progression that means something. The king of the third-person shooters. Housemarque showing their stock. SAROS feels like a logical evolution of Returnal, mechanically more satisfying and rewarding. Yeah, I sent this tweet yesterday, just like looking at the sheer scope and spectacle of the game. It's just absolutely phenomenal. Like, it almost has a dizzying effect. Just the draw distance and these massive vaulted, cathedral-like areas. It's just absolutely great. It's so good. I left and came back. We have almost 600 members. Yeah, Twitch and YouTube, everybody went a little crazy. If you guys can get it to 750, Madam has to play SAROS tomorrow, and I really, really want that. I would love to see that. I would love to see her play. Alana was doing with Raul. She was doing a subathon. So the more you guys sub and hit that thing, the timer goes up or whatever. So we just do it a little differently. We have like a goal, and when you guys hit the goal, we do a Saturday stream where we have my wife react to gaming news, and then if you guys hit the stretch goal, you get a game, and this one would be SAROS. This guy says, as someone who unfortunately bounced off Returnal, the sci-fi was so up my alley. SAROS is difficult. I'm having a tough time in Biome 2. That being said, I'm not very good at games, but I've managed to beat Elden Ring and Armored Core 6 a few times with cheese builds. Keep pushing, dude. You'll get past it. Now, this guy left a comment and said, I'm hoping we can see more gameplay on the channel, since this kind of proves that gameplay gets just as many views as the gaming talk shows do. I mean, you have outliers like the AC Black Flag videos with a lot more views, but that's expected given the popularity. The issue with gameplay views on the channel is it always tapers off. Like the very first day we streamed SAROS, it did incredibly well, and then each day after that's been a little bit less. So, it's always been a struggle with us to have consistent gameplay on the channel, but SAROS is so good, I'm just doing it anyway. Like, I don't care. I'm like, watch or not, I'm playing. They're not spoiling the ending. They're lying on Twitter. Biome 2 and SAROS for me was tougher than Biome 3. Biome 2 is a hump in SAROS. Nick, did you know if you die like 4 or 5 times in a row, it gives you the modification meter I thought you had to beat the Biome 2 boss to get it. No, you get it literally if you die too much. People are getting it in the first biome. I think that's one of the reasons people are kind of going crazy. Like, I think they get their butt kicked, get that thing, they turn it on easy mode, and they're like, this game's easy. I think that's what a lot of people have done. I kept telling people that. I was in Biome 2, and I'm like, the people that are saying this is easier than Returnal, I was like, I don't know what they're talking about. I don't know what they're talking about. It drops like 120 of us weirdos here all the time for gameplay. We were holding between 200 and 300 with the gameplay. Near the end, it dropped quite a bit, Anthony. Yes, yesterday. It dropped quite a bit by the end of the stream. Game said, I'm going to help you out. Yeah. Does Saros work on the portal? I don't know. Returnal's not a cloud streamable game. You can remote play Returnal, but it's not cloud streamable. I'm not sure if Saros is or not. Somebody else will have to weigh in. I would not play Saros on the cloud. I would not. Too intense, too much going on, too micro moments where you can just get obliterated. Remote play only? Yeah. Returnal's fine remote play if you're on the same network. I would never play Returnal on the portal if I wasn't at home. That would be terrible. Didn't one guy say he did it in 1.5 hours? There are people all over Twitter lying and gaslighting and making things up. They're just lying. This happens all the time with PlayStation games. They jump on the game immediately. They'll get clips that aren't theirs and screenshots that aren't theirs, and they'll make up lies and make up stories. And then a week or two later, they did it with Yote. A week or two later, we find out they're all lying and they're all making stuff up, and then they just all move on. They're just a bunch of despicable losers that just make things up to hate on video games instead of, I don't know, playing them and having a good time. You beat Returnal on my portal. I don't know how, but it happened. If you're remote playing on the same network, it's probably not too bad. You know, even with the mods, I'm getting my butt kicked. Well, and that's the thing, Anthony. I was watching other people play Saros, and somebody left me a comment, and they really complimented me. They're like, you can tell that you're like an experienced and high-level Returnal player. If you watch my gameplay of Saros, and then you go watch some other people play Saros, you'll see what I'm talking about. I'm not bragging. I don't have an ego about this. It's all about experience. The same thing would happen if you watched me play Madden versus watching somebody who's played Madden their entire life. It would be completely different. It would be light years of difference. So if you watch me play Saros, and then you go watch somebody else play Saros, if they're not super experienced and they didn't play a lot of Returnal, it's going to be a vastly different experience. They're probably going to die more. They're probably going to make more mistakes. It's not, I'm not throwing shade. I think there's a reason that people were immediately running with the narrative that like, oh, this game is so much easier than Returnal. I think those people were just completely making it up. I think they knew that was a narrative they could run that could be negative, and they were running mods, they were running easy mode, and they were lying. Even with the mods turned on, some of those later environments and some of those later biomes will absolutely beat the crap out of you. You make a couple mistakes and you get chunked. I mean, chunked. They don't like it when Sony makes a game with a female lead, and apparently they don't like it when it's a male lead. Definitely not gamers anymore. Whatever they can find to complain about, brother. And a 10 bomb comes in from Hidden Siryu. He's like, boys, let's land the plane. Let's get it there. Get it to 600, and I'll owe you guys a member. Right now, whoever wins the contest between Twitch and YouTube, your platform is going to get a 5 bomb from me at the end of the day. All right? You're going to get a 5 bomb. So, Twitch, you're going to have to hustle if you want to try and win this. Thank you for that 10 bomb, Hidden Siryu. I just got to the mods. I waited until frustration kicks in before using any. Not at that point yet at all. I haven't been watching the Saros gameplay just because I'm not interested in Saros or Returnal. Oh, that's totally fine. If you guys aren't watching, there's plenty of people that don't watch because they don't care about the game that I'm playing. I don't take offense to that at all. If you guys haven't hit the like button yet, be sure to hit that like button. And a single comes in from Dirge. Dirge might be trying to do a 5 bomb setup to 600. YouTube, don't complain about latency because Twitch can beat you on this. It's a funny thing listening to gameplay of this game on my headphones and not watching, and this Sun Talk on my ear. It just sounds like I have a madman in my ear. Well, yeah. It's based on the story of a madman. It's based on a story about madness. I have my own theories about what's going on, so hoping to get to a place with the story this afternoon after the show with Ginger. And we'll run Biome 4. And then we'll run as far as I can again. We'll run it with mods first. That's how we've been doing it. RP Gaming says, I tried it last night. Remote play is solid. And if there's anything else going on in the gaming world, guys, you can feel free to bring it up. Feel free to submit a question. Those are things you guys can do, especially as members. There's a new survey that finds exclusives are the #1 reason people play on a console. I can't believe it. Oh, don't let me forget to set up redirect for the gameplay. Yes, I'll schedule the stream here in about 20 minutes, Ginger. I appreciate that. That's so kind of you to do that. We will, we'll redirect from the Ginger show. And there's no, if we go a little bit late today, it's no big deal. The one time we were like kind of in a hurry because there was an event going on, there's no rush today. Like if we end 5-10 minutes late or whatever, I'm not like, oh no, like it's just a gameplay stream. It's just a gameplay stream. And a single comes in from Broken Earth. There it is. There's the 5-bomb setup. Twitch. Steal it. Well, that poll doesn't count. That's right. I always used my nephew as an example, Nick. I was like, my nephew bought a PlayStation 5 because they wanted to play Spider-Man. They wanted to play Spider-Man 2. But after he beat Spider-Man 2, he clocks more hours in like Apex and Call of Duty. And if you looked at his playtime, you would do what a lot of these guys do. They use playtime as an indictment. They'd be like, yeah, well, your nephew didn't buy the PlayStation 4 exclusives. Look, he spends all of his time in games like Apex. You know, in games like Call of Duty. And it's like, you would be wrong. He literally, the catalyst to him buying the console wasn't exclusive. Text is small, but a good breakdown. Ooh, how to read a SAROS weapon. Reading a SAROS weapon. Proficiency level. The weapon spawn near your current level. Weapon name and type. The subtype drastically changes the weapon. This is true. Governing stats. This character stat improves this weapon's feature. Okay, I know that. This value updates live as you change the stat during a run. Arrows. This meter on this roll of the weapon levels up faster. Okay, I didn't know that. Gray bar. The maximum value of all guns of this type. Hang on. Gray bar. The maximum value of all guns of this type. Red, white segment. The game is showing you a comparison between two gun rolls. Yeah, I know how the red, white works. Line. The max value this roll can reach based on proficiency level. You can fill it up to this line by getting more of this stat. Some weapon subtypes disable aim assist. Yeah, like the auto aim, you can't get that with like heavy rounds because that would be ridiculous if it was just like auto aiming with heavy rounds because heavy rounds are ridiculously strong. Weapon perks. Up to 5 perks spawn based on levels. Some perks only appear at higher levels. Some perks appear on multiple types. Inspect perks in your inventory system. Yeah, this didn't really necessarily tell me anything new. It might have helped you guys. I pretty much figured all that out. It's not the greatest UI. You know, It's not the greatest UI. I think it could be a little bit clearer. I felt like the Returnal UI was a little bit more immediately deducible, like what's going on. You know, oh, like this gun's got more damage. Oh, but this gun's got faster projectile speed, or like what have you. Like, I feel like in SAROS, unless I really, really don't like the weapon, if it's going to be jumping by 3 levels or more, I should just take it. Like, if I'm on a 17 and it's a 20, even if I don't like it very much, I should just take it. It's going to kill faster. I feel like that proficiency number is immediately and directly impactful on damage output. I like the crossbow. I'm telling you, the crossbow alt fire that's like teal and it like auto seeks after hitting somebody, that sucker is busted. That sucker's busted. I'm not telling you they should nerf it. I wouldn't be surprised if it gets a nerf. I'm not saying they should. The repeater crossbow, yeah. I am not saying they should nerf it. But if they rolled out a patch in a week or two and they're like, we've nerfed the repeater crossbow, it wouldn't shock me in the least. It wouldn't shock me at all. That sucker feels broken. I go into rooms, and yes, I was running with mods. But like, I went into a room, I shot like 2 or 3 guys, and I turned around, and there was just stuff all over the ground. Just so many things had died that I didn't even see. I mean, the one I told you was the best. I knew when you told me it was your preference, there was something I was missing. Its primary fire is not good. You just use it's just permanently on alt fire when I have it. It just permanently alt fire. I don't even use the primary unless I'm shooting it like the little pods that blow up. I literally don't use the regular fire. Does SAROS support MNK? Returnal felt amazing on PC with mouse and keyboard. Call it, I don't think so. Yeah, and I don't. As far as we know, it's not coming to PC. I would love for it to come to PC. I think it's getting a lot more praise and a lot more attention than Returnal did. I think it could come to PC and it could really cook. But from what we've heard, the decision to bring games to PC has been scrapped by PlayStation. So I would love for that to be not true. I would love for that to be not true. Rockstar is back teasing us again with the car showing May on the license plate in their new post. Yeah, none of those clues ever amounted to anything. Hilly says, just a heads up, this weekend is a bank holiday in the UK. I also have Tuesday off, so have opened a nice cold session IPA. Well, hey, bottoms up, Hilly. Secondary fire all the way. Yeah. 100%. 100%. Speaking of which, I should probably schedule that stream now. Stream holding. Wait, I'm in the wrong. I'm going to do it over here. In my stream holding room. Biome 4 is what we're focusing on today. A report came out showing PC sales. It's not good. That's why they pulled PC ports. I was going to look at that, Wicked. I saw that making the rounds. I told people, Nick, I used to hate IPAs. You get a couple really good hazies, and it's all I drink now for the most part. Although, I do like Rheingeist. They have a light beer, and they have a light beer with lime, like a lime flavor, and I usually don't like light beers. And I usually don't like lime in a beer unless it's like a Modelo Negra. That one I like, but their Rheingeist Light is very good. It's called like Cincy Light or something like that. I like that. But yeah, I'm almost completely IPA now. And I'm not like some beer hipster. I'm a bourbon man. But Nova says, I heard a good suggestion for Bungie to try with Marathon where they offer free-to-play sponsored kit map rotation, so the whole game isn't free, but the weekly sponsored kit map would allow people to get into the game and give it a try. Lime's nice with the lager. Lime is nice with the right lager. This is true. I I'll be honest with you, Nova. I don't think there's any saving Marathon. I think it's done. I don't think anybody gives a frick, and I don't think anybody will come back. So, yeah. Okay, let's see here. So we're going to be with Ginger at 1, so this will be at 2. I just think they're done. They're hemorrhaging players to such a degree. I just don't think there's any turning back. They're cooked. So. And there was a time where I kind of cared about that, but given how that community acted and how they treated people trying to talk about it, given how our own community acted about it, I kind of don't give a frick. Kind of don't care. Kind of feels deserved. Let's see. Like, I've never rooted for Bungie's failure, even though I have like a lot of reasons to. But I'm just kind of like, I don't give a frick. Let your game burn. Doesn't matter to me. Didn't listen to feedback. Kept telling people I didn't know what they were talking about. Kept telling me my PvP bias blinded me. And everything I said was correct. Everything I said would happen has happened. All of my feedback has been basically attempted to be implemented into the game. So I don't care. I just don't care. The audience closed their ears to basic feedback and attacked basic feedback. Maligned anybody who was trying to talk about it, even in a productive way. Bungie was so freaking out of touch and so hubristic about the title. I mean, they had their own people at their own studio were telling them it wasn't going to work, and they trudged forward anyway. And they had like a willing, hubristic, arrogant fan base to just pick up that DNA and run with it, calling people maidenless and everything else. You know what? Your game's headed to death, and I don't give a frick. I just don't. Well, I've almost thought about covering it today, and I was like, you know what? I just don't care. I just don't. Until we roll into June and get some kind of a significant update from Bungie and Sony about what in the world's going on with Destiny, I just don't care. Marathon doesn't have a shot. It doesn't have a prayer. It's already on. It's already headed to death. And at some level, it's deserved. It's just deserved. It's like the Joker says, you get what you effing deserve. This is what happens when you ignore feedback, you ignore basic ideas and basic tenets of a live service game. This is what happens. Death is what happens. No reason to be apologetic about it. These are just the facts. If you're having a good run today, will you finish the game? I don't know. Maybe. I think we're closing in on story concluding. I think we are. I'll be playing it tonight, getting in while it lasts. Yeah, some of you guys have been totally charitable and nice, and you're the only people I feel bad for. You're the only people I feel bad for. Some of you have been totally charitable and nice. You've still shown up to the shows about it. You still support the channel. Everybody else, it's exactly what you deserve. The way so many people handle that game is like, yeah, this is exactly what you deserve. No, I have not, RP Gaming. Your niche on niche game didn't get the players, and those who were playing the game told everybody it's not for you. Tale as old as time. Which biome have you gotten to now? Apparently there's 9. I'm sorry, what did you say? Did you say there's 9? What? I'm not complaining. Is there 9? Are these people out here? I'm telling you, all these people acting like it's an incredibly short game and they blaze through it. I'm telling you, they're all liars. They all lied. And I wouldn't be surprised if some of the people that talked about how it's so much easier and it's the playtime so much shorter. Yeah, they threw it on easy mode. They threw it on frickin' easy mode. I wonder how many journalists did that, and I wonder how many journalists did that, and it completely shaded their vision of the game. You know what I mean? How many of them kept dying, got the mods, went in the settings, turned easy mode on, stacked the mods, and just burned the game to the ground? And it's like, yeah, okay. 9's the last. PS5 games don't sell on PC because PC gamers defer to piracy, and Sony games were all cracked instantly. I mean, that's not the only reason why. I liked Metal Eden. I didn't finish it, though. I genuinely love Marathon, but I can also admit that Bungie made a colossal mistake spending 5 to 6 years developing an extraction shooter. Both things can be true. I don't think it'll be long before Sony starts carving up Bungie. Yeah, plenty of you have been charitable. Plenty of you have still showed up and participated in chats and supported the channel, right? A ton of people didn't. They just decided they just didn't want to be around anymore. They didn't want to hear it anymore. And it was all the people that told me I didn't know what I was talking about. And it's like, I don't feel bad for you. I'll have you know, I beat the game in 27 minutes. What are you talking about? Oh, what are we talking about again? That's right. Dirge says 10's the last one. Yeah. See, I told you that guy on Twitter. I told you something didn't smell right. I told you. I was like, something doesn't add up here. The game had just come out, and this homie's got clips and claims. And I'm like, there's no way. There's no way you burn this game down this quickly. Absolute. I knew something didn't add up. Can we name names? I'm not in the business of naming names. I'm not. I'm being very fair about this. I'm being very fair. I don't feel bad for Bungie, and I don't feel bad for all the toxic fans or even the fans that just kept telling me that I was wrong and didn't know what I was talking about. For a year and a half, I had to hear that crap. And I was right from moment one. I got a bunch of hate for making my video where I said it was a recipe for failure. Yeah? How you feeling now about my video? People wanted to call out my video and get all mad and get their undies all twisted up. I was dead on bullseye about that game. I was like, it's a recipe for failure. Every decision you made about this game is setting it up to fail. Approval needed. Action needed. Keep or cancel. I still want the items, I'm pretty sure. I don't know if that did it. John did it. Why are we treating this game like this? This is so weird. The same people would celebrate other games from places they didn't like failing. Yeah, Wheeze. There are 8 main biomes, with the main shore being the 9th. Okay. Is Pragmata on PC good? You're downloading it on your PC? Let's see. I think it's doing very well on Steam, last I checked. Pragmata on Steam has a 97%. A 97%. That's very good. Yeah, it's doing fine. Sometimes when Rockstar posts stuff on their official social media accounts, it can definitely mean something, especially if they have a new game on the horizon. If it weren't for Slay the Spire 2, this would be my favorite game of the year. It might even be. Weez, I told you, man. I'm not like taking credit, but I was trying to tell everybody. I was like, this Pragmata game is so stinking good. I told people it's the best new IP I played this gen after Returnal and Expedition 33. Because I think those are two of the best new IPs I've played. And I'm like, Pragmata is like the best IP I played since then. It's just so stinking good. the entire the combat system they built is just, it's so ambitious. It was such a huge risk. I remember when we first saw gameplay of Pragmata's combat, we were all like, I don't know, man, that might be really annoying, and it's freaking great. I got news for you. I think the next game is just going to be, I guarantee you they're going to make another. It did too well to not. I think we've got a franchise on our hands. I would absolutely love to see like more agility, more verticality, like almost like a mech suit. You know what I mean? Expand the suit. There's so much they could do in the next game. Is it running on the RE engine? It is. It is indeed. You see Maximilian's reaction to Pragmata's ending? You have to check it out. Like the true ending, the audio ending where like somebody says something. I just unlocked Quick Hack. I'm sure that's cheating. Well, it's not cheating if you use Quick Hack because it makes it to where you probably aren't ever going to get your ultimate. If you keep using Quick Hack, you won't get your ultimate, and your ultimate can be very helpful. Now, room to room, fight to fight, you don't really need your ultimate, so Quick Hack is great for that. You get in a fight where you really want that ultimate to turn the tide, I mean, you're not going to want to be using Quick Hack in those instances. It's a wasted mod at that point. Or is it a mod? I don't think it's a mod. It's a waste of resources at that point. Oh yeah, we can raid and host on Purple as well. I never even thought about that. I need to set up redirect now that you say that, Ginger. No pressure. About to go live. Oh, I missed that one. My bad. Oh, where is this? Alright, here it is. Gaming Roundtable. Okay. There we go. Pick up everything run. To be honest, the fact that it's linear and very tight reminds me of a 360 era game in all the right ways. I'm having a blast. Can't wait to play later. I think you'll really, really like, too, some of the stuff they do at the end, Wheezy. Just knowing how you are as a player, I think you're just really, really going to enjoy it. I really liked what they did, like, post credits. Because there's like a whole... It's basically like an epilogue. I mean, there's just a ton more you can kind of do. It's really, really cool. I love that they did it. Yeah. You don't have to roll over into New Game Plus to do it either, which is something I especially enjoyed. Do the gun perks level up the more you use them, like Returnal, or is it different? It's different, Frank. I haven't really looked into it too much. I mean, we can look at it right now. I don't know. I didn't move the PlayStation in here, dadgummit. I just heard it turn on out there in the living room. I literally reminded myself to pull it in here, and I just heard the dadgum thing turn on out there in the living room. Give me 10 seconds. When you turn it on with this controller, only this controller will control it. You can't do another one. Okay. I figured I was up. I would just shut it off, go upstairs, take my break, and then come back down and hook it up. So, just combine everything into one. Quick hack is helpful, especially for bosses. Below the Dawn Marker presentation a few days ago definitely has me on board. That was a weird one. I was kind of surprised how negative people were being about that. People were being straight up neggy burgers about it. And I was like, what is going on, man? They were like hating. Okay. All right, I'm going to load it up here. We are 5 away from 600. Who set that one up? Broken Earth and Dirge set that one up. There it is. Loch Ness was like, what are we doing, boys? Boom. 600. I was surprised. I was like, okay. Okay, boys. Let's see. Weapons. Yeah, I don't think it takes nearly as long. It's telling me my smart rifle's complete. Dead 178, thank you so much. Let me add you to the total. All the members is, yeah, there we go. Like, this already says it's complete. The smart rifle. The Prominence is at 69. This is at 51. I'm assuming this just comes from use, right? The tactical rifle, same deal, complete. there aren't like perk unlocks here. Because like when I played Returnal, okay, I think there's more weapons too. We don't have them all. Jaggy with a VIP 56-month. Pragmata versus Saros as best action game. Let me add you to the total. In the realm of action, I think Saros is winning hands down in the realm of an action game. Like, I don't think, I don't think Pragmata wins that fight. I think Saros is just it is probably the best action game I've played. I think it might be the best action game that I played. You haven't seen all the weapons. Yeah, I assumed I hadn't. The moment to moment is just, yeah, I don't know. Pragmata will definitely get noms. Yeah, I think Pragmata's getting noms. I think Pragmata could even potentially win. Like, there's definitely some things that I could see Pragmata winning. But I also think that in the realm of action, I just don't think anything can beat Saros this year. Control Resonant could compete. Control Resonant could come in and compete. But I just think Housemarque has hit such a level of excellence. I think they're the clear lead for action game this year. It'll be very, very tough to beat Housemarque. I mean, it's literally what they excel at. I mean, it's just undeniable. Their moment to moment is it's just exceptional. So, okay, so I owe YouTube a member here. Let me turn this off, and then I'll give YouTube the member that I owe. I need to replay Control. You have time on Control. We don't even have a release date for Resonant yet. Yeah. The Ultimate Edition was just like $4 or $5 recently, like on like all platforms. Yeah. Let's see here. YouTube. All right. Hey, Jaggy. Did I add you to the total, Jaggy? Yeah, I did. Lockness got us to 600, and Dead 718 and Jaggy pushed us past. There we go. Checking the news cycles as we have a 45-minute countdown to 45-minute countdown to the round table with Ginger. Not sure what this is about. I don't even know what that is. If you guys are going to rally for Stretch, group together, coordinate, and get ready to do it, you got 45 minutes, and we are the closest to Stretch we have been in a while. You guys have crushed it today. It's 146-99 winning platform. Gets a five-bomb for me today, so there is a reason to win the contest today. It's just the corruption that you pick up. I think it's just letting you know how much you have. I think that's all it's doing. It was just blanked out. Bungie needs a reboot from scratch. Should be a PlayStation show this month. The roundtable will be on both Twitch and YouTube. I will raid Ginger Prime on Twitch, and we will redirect Ginger to Ginger Prime on YouTube. I can talk, I promise. And yeah, if there is going to be a PlayStation show this month, it will likely land on like the 28th. Give me the too long didn't read. The too long didn't read on Bungie. Thank you for the $2 super chat. What do you mean? Did somebody tell you that we were in here talking about Bungie? We didn't say much about it. I talked for maybe 5 minutes about it. I think their game, I don't think Marathon's going to make it, and I kind of just don't care. I just beat the Scorpion boss in Pragmata. Do I have a lot left? Yes. I feel like if anything happens to Diana, I need to be warned. I don't think I can handle that. I'm a sensitive dude. You'll be fine. I really thought for a long time that a break for them and a reset to let the public sentiment cool. Now I think it has to happen. Yeah, I think they need to be restructured, get good leadership in better positions, walk the bad leadership out the door, get people from other PlayStation studios that potentially want to work on a Destiny 3, and then get to work on Destiny 3. Just go quiet. You know? Thank you for not making me switch apps. You didn't ever actually have to switch apps. I just always just funnel us all to YouTube. Something happens, I knew it. I said, you'll be fine. I swear at some point we will hear about some sort of scam and how they budget their latest games. What are you talking about, Jakob? April was brutal. Oh, for hardware for Xbox? Yeah, I mean, they're just, yeah, their Xbox is, again, I don't think Helix is what people think it's going to be. I don't think it's going to be like a reinvigoration. You know, a reinvigoration of their hardware or exclusives or anything like that. I think the window for Destiny 3 has already come and passed. They had about 2 years to get their audience to at least hang on to that thread of hope. No, I think if they would have tried to do it as a tack on or a continuation of Destiny 2, it actually would have failed. I actually think they need the silence. I think they need like a straight 4 to 5 years where they're doing nothing but Destiny 3. Did you buy any Lego for May the 4th to get the Darksaber gift with purchase? I don't know what you're talking about. They needed that thread of hope for the audience to think it's coming. I don't. What thread of hope do you mean, Wheeze? Like, if they go quiet for 4 or 5 years and they really build it, I think they could build an exceptionally good Destiny 3. I think they could. They need 4 to 5 years of uninterrupted development. They need to stop supporting Destiny 2. There's no reason to support. There's no reason to support Marathon for very long. It's dadgum cooked. I swear something flashed. Oh, it was an ad on Twitter. Public needs the break from Bungie too. People are pissed. The audience that had vested in Bungie is gone. They'd come. I think they would come back. I think a lot of them would come back, and I think a lot of new people would check it out. I think they would. I think 4 or 5 years from now, it'd be a very different landscape. It would be more receptive to it. More receptive to it. And they understand player behavior. They can build around the, kind of the changing tides of how these games kind of ebb and flow. Because they would certainly need it. They would certainly need to have that adaptability, I'd come back for 3, says Alex. Yeah, I think a lot of people would. Destiny 3 will be the extraction shooter we need right now. Shut the frick up. A comment on a Pragmata video? This confirms the allegations about the game, by the way. That outfit's not only inappropriate for a child, as a person who's literally worked to track an arrest, it's very questionable. I mean, that's a self-report if I've ever seen one. That's a self-report if I've ever seen one. She's got shorts on. There were literal weirdos complaining about that. Like, absolute cretins of society. Just gross. It was, you know, I actually liked the fact that there were other outfits for her, and I didn't like that a lot of the trailers was like, well, can you put some pants on her? Because she's wearing the jacket. But then you quickly realize she's wearing shorts, and it just makes it adorable. She's wearing this oversized jacket that, you know, she found, and it's all she had. And it's just like, you know, people are being weird for no reason. Whoever decided to continue on Destiny 2 after the final shape is the real problem. That was a game that did not work out. Well, they didn't have much of a choice, Jakob. They didn't have much of a choice. That was what was paying the bills. They couldn't just stop. They couldn't just stop Destiny 2. There had to be a continuation of Destiny 2. It was what was keeping the lights on. Right? Like, let's just say right now, I wanted to completely switch to just doing uploads. I couldn't do that, brother. Number one, I don't think I would enjoy that. I enjoy being live. But let's just say for whatever reason, I got the hankering to be like, no more live streams. I'm only going to do uploads. Homies, there are other ways to, like, put myself in a terrible financial situation. That would be certainly one of them. That's the primary way I earn a living, is by going live. Gifted members and paying members. That's how this works. I'm not a very large channel. So, like, if Bungie was just like, yeah, we're just not going to do Destiny 2 anymore, that would be like me suddenly just not live streaming all of a sudden. They'd be like, huh? It'd be immediate revenue decline. I'm more of a VOD man myself. I mean, I appreciate all the people that watch the VODs, for sure. And I appreciate people that upload their podcasts, right? I am at a very healthy level. I have a healthy amount of envy for someone like Colin Moriarty that can put everything on a Patreon and just flourish and then bring the stuff to YouTube later. That level of support, people that really value his content to that degree, dude, you know what I'm saying? I'd cut one of my fingers off for that level of support, because it's just so solid. You can't walk away from the thing that's working, and that's the situation that Bungie's in. Bungie can't do that. Bungie can't be like, yeah, we're done with Destiny 2, and a gifted comes in from Ryan Gosling. Like, the people that catch that vision, you know what I'm saying? Like, Colin's ability to be like, we're going to do this show, we're going to put it over here, and you're going to pay for it, and if you don't pay for it, you can wait for it, right? Like, that's why I constantly try to tell folks, like, if you like this show, if you like getting this show every single day, $5 a month goes a long way. You know, if it's hitting your feed, if you're watching it later, if you really enjoy that routine and that podcast, that's why I keep telling people, I'm like, I hope y'all understand what I'm saying. This doesn't work if that doesn't happen. Like, if all of a sudden everybody just stopped being patrons of that podcast, the podcast would probably go away. So you can't have, like, Destiny 2 up and running and making money and just basically tell all those people to screw off. Be like, yeah, go away. We're not going to make this game anymore. The budget was frick then. Bungie was basically paycheck to paycheck then. They weren't paycheck to paycheck. They were actually doing something that I think makes perfectly good sense. This is the one thing that I have kind of defended Bungie on. Is Morning Coffee still going? No. We had to stop doing all members content on the channel. It was killing the channel. YouTube completely screwed up last year, and they haven't fixed it either. If you make members only content on YouTube, it's damaging to your channel. You can't do it. It completely ruins you in the funnel, because YouTube doesn't know what to put in front of people. So we don't do Morning Coffee anymore. We do Green Room in the Discord at the end of the day. So, like, I actually think what Bungie did made perfectly good sense. They didn't want to make another Destiny. They didn't want to. They were like, if we try to do another Destiny, if we try to do Destiny 3, it's going to be brutal. I don't think they wanted to do it. I think it's very hard on the company to build and maintain a Destiny. So they started building exit ramps. They were like, well, I tell you what we do. We build exit ramps, and we'll build all these other projects, whether it's Gummy Bear or Payback or Marathon. We'll build other things, and all these other things will generate, certain amounts of revenue. And then as the revenue starts to decline on Destiny 2, we'll be making revenue with other endeavors. Well, unfortunately, when they did that, and a single comes in from Siege Master, I think he's going to try to bait a 20 bomb. The 625 is the next milestone where I owe you guys a member. Thank you, Siege Master. So, what's the point of members only label then? I don't know. Weezy. Thank you again, Siege Master, for another one. We stopped talking about it because it was just incredibly frustrating. I mean, we basically spent all of last year getting completely set back. We hit 50,000 subscribers going into 2025, and then YouTube made about 8 decisions last year that just destroyed all of our... You can literally go to my Social Blade and you can see it. We were like, growth pattern, and it's a cliff. As soon as we crossed over into 2025, it just dies. They just made a bunch of changes, and it murdered us. It just murdered us in the algo. We've spent the last 5 months trying to fix it, and we largely have. But we had to fix it by no longer doing members-only content. So we just, it's unfortunate. YouTube's got people making decisions that don't fundamentally understand live streaming and members content. They don't get it. They're completely in the dark on how it should work. And I've offered as much feedback as I possibly can on it because I've been live streaming for 10 years. And I think I have a pretty good wrangle on it, and YouTube doesn't. I hate seeing members-only content in my recommends. It's so dumb. Yeah, the fact that it's still happening, it's just so fundamentally embarrassing that that's still happening. Like, the fact that you're seeing content that you can't watch on a platform driven by click. I can't believe it's still happening. It's just ridiculous. DB Cooper gifts one over here on Purple. Gets us to 606. Thank you so much. It happens to me literally everywhere, every day. Yeah. We stopped doing it. Because of that. It's 149 to 100. Twitch, you could take the lead right now with a 50 bomb. That's all you need, Twitch. Just a 50 bomb to take the lead. Show me a vid I can watch, and then if I like it, I'll go to the channel to decide if I want to be a member to see those vids. Yeah, we don't need to belabor that point. The point is, with Bungie, it is similar, though. Because if I drove all of my supporters away, if I just drove everybody off and said, I'm not going to live stream anymore, that would have been like Bungie deciding not to do Destiny 2 anymore. They would have driven all of the people away that was supporting them. That's why they were building those other games. They wanted to have other means of revenue. So as they stopped doing things for Destiny 2 and revenue started to decline, they'd be making that revenue from other endeavors. Unfortunately, it drove the company into the red because it affected the quality of Destiny, and because it affected the quality of Destiny, it affected the amount of money that came in from Destiny. And because of that, it completely changed everything. The calculus didn't work. They had to do layoffs. The 200 to 300 some odd people have been absorbed by SIE. One of their games has been absorbed by SIE. They've spun up a new studio at Sony, the LFG studio. This is why people need to understand why companies will never say, we are going to end support for this game until like the day before, because there's financial incentive to keep people invested. Right. Metal Matt says, Twitch should know better than to mess with the big dog. Twitch, are you really going to let them... You really going to let YouTube run their mouth? Twitch, you guys are the OG. You guys are the ones. Should I remap controls when I start SAROS today or going with the default? If you've played a lot of Returnal, I think you're going to have to put dodge on circle. I couldn't do it. Coming from an entire day of Returnal, 222 hours of Returnal, I had to put dodge on circle. It's just baked into my... It's just baked in. I couldn't do it. I couldn't do it any other way. Punch your melee into shield. I think that needs to stay on bumper because you need to be able to jump and dodge at times with the shield on. You're not going to be able to do that if you move that to a face key. To a face button, I should say. L1 was weird at first, but I got used to it. It would have messed me up because I was playing Sworn with my wife, and right bumper was dodge, and it actually made it really easy. And then I switched right bumper to dodge in Dead Zone Rogue. But then I was like, oh my gosh, I need to switch back because I'm going to play Returnal to warm up, and I kept messing up and hitting right bumper. So I switched Dead Zone Rogue back to circle. I switched SAROS to circle. Yeah, dodge was L1. I think the reason they wanted dodge on L1 and your punch shield on R1, I think the reason they do that is they want you to have freedom of movement with your thumbs on the sticks when you're doing those things. They want you to be able to dodge or punch or shield with your forefingers instead of your thumbs. They don't want you using your thumb. I get it. I get why they did it. I couldn't do it. I have too much muscle memory. I keep thinking circle would be used later for a new skill, but it never was. That's heresy, Lono. Straight to jail. Again, I understand why they did it. I think they want you to be able to have total free movement because the fights get rather intense. They want you to have total free movement to be doing a dodge, a punch, or a shield with the bumpers instead of your face buttons. Some guy told me, he's like, it's so funny. He's like, you play so much on PlayStation and that you still call R1 and R2 bumpers, which is an Xbox term. I'll mess up and tell my kids on the controller, like my son, I'll be like, yeah, just press X. And what I mean is press square. Make sense of that. Or press Y. I'll be telling Madam, I'm like, yeah, just press Y. Press Y to switch weapons. She's like, what is Y? I'm like, oh, I'm sorry, triangle. Like, I still do that to this day. All right, you guys have 26 minutes, and we're going to the gaming roundtable with Ginger. Did you beat Saros? Not yet. I think I'm 75%. I think I'm close at 20 hours. See my last. Hilly says, see, this is why when Chrome breaks YouTube chat, I laugh. They deserve it. The day YouTube posts an original chat comment that is thoughtful and interesting, the world will collapse. Oh, Hilly. That's ridiculous. Wasn't aware bumpers was an Xbox exclusive. Well, that's what they're called. It's RB and LB. It's right bumper and left bumper. That's like literally what they're called. On the PlayStation controller, they're R1 and L2. Hilly, be nice. The grandpa's on YouTube. Can barely figure out how to use anything besides YouTube and Google. You guys are talking a lot of smack, and YouTube's winning. I don't know why you guys are talking so much smack over there on Twitch. It's 149 to 100. You're not winning right now. You're talking like you're winning. I thought it was right button and left button, not bumper. How to be right button and left button? Has it always been right button and left button? I thought it was right bumper and left bumper. I thought that's what RB stood for. What does RB stand for on an Xbox controller? RB stands for right bumper. This guy thought RB, LB, LT, LB stood for right top, right bottom, left top, left bottom. No, it's bumpers. And Broken Earth bumps the line by 1 to round it out. A nice 150 to 100, Twitch. YouTube is winning only in their mind, my young apprentice. That's not what it says over here. It's bumper jumper for a reason. Yo, Mike and Mike says, I've been playing Destiny 1 lately. I'm having a good time with it, and people are actually coming back. Gee, I wonder why. That number is propaganda. Okay. Are Destiny 1 servers still active? Yes. First Berserker Kazan sold over 1 million units and generated over 50 million in revenue for publisher Nexon. Then you got Nintendo throwing it all off with their face buttons and then having Z buttons. I still to this day, Erica, it's like hit Z whatever. And I'm like, what's that? I just look down. I'm like, what is that? What do you want me to push? I freaking hate it. You know what I mean? Nintendo can simultaneously make me feel like a child again with their games, but then at the same time make me feel like an old man. I'm like, what the frick are these? What button is that? Dropping today, says Asha Sharma, our new logo in dynamic backgrounds, profile backgrounds, and gamer pics. Xbox is saved, boys. It's saved. Yeah, ZL? What is that? Like PC load letter? What the f does that mean? Like ZL? What is ZL? What is that? They don't even put the L first. Huh? They changed their emails. Xbox is saved. I saw somebody make the observation, and I don't know what I think, but the guy said, he was like, I tell you what, this looks an awful lot like they're getting Xbox ready to be sold off. He's like, they're decoupling it from Microsoft. And I was like, what if he's right? Like, what if he's right? And I was thinking to myself, it would be terrible initially. It would be horrible. Because it'd be massive amount of reduction in layoffs and studio closures. Did you play Nier Automata? That's so random. You just followed me to ask me that? I played it a long time ago. Long time ago. Back when I was like a Destiny streamer. I liked it, but it felt really complex when I got into the menus and like the skills and stuff. I remember enjoying it though. Who want to buy Xbox? They got a lot of property. Similar idea to SAROS? I don't know enough to comment. Sorry. Can't be cheap with all that property that they have. The orbs? What? It'd be funny if PlayStation bought up Bethesda. I don't think PlayStation would have the money, and I don't think they would want to buy individual studios either. Just the bullet ballet type? I didn't know that Nier Automata was a bullet hell. I vaguely remember playing it and it being a little chaotic, but I don't remember it feeling like a bullet hell. I mean, that was a lifetime ago when I played, so hard to know. Who is this? Oh, okay. I was like, I thought that was somebody else. Just for bosses? They do have a lot of property, but you need a lot of assets. Are you saying someone is buying it all? I don't know. I'm not saying that's what's happening. I just saw that guy make that observation on Twitter, and I was like, That would be freaking crazy. That would be absolutely crazy. Like, he basically said, it looks like they're decoupling. It looks like they're decoupling. Who's on the round table today? I'm actually not sure. I don't know if he said yet, if Ginger said who was going to be on. The guy just said it looks like they've been, it's a melee style bullet hell. Oh, I didn't realize that. I could see the split for sure. Yeah, like if all of a sudden you're making everything Xbox, you completely decouple it from Microsoft, it maybe is easier to sell it to some other company. I just don't know. I don't know if I agree with that observation from just a small financial standpoint for the price of Activision alone versus the other properties. There's like maybe one or two other companies on the globe who could afford Xbox. No, I agree. Which also means, Wheezy, there could be terrifying things coming for the brand if that's the plan. If that's the plan, you talk about an absolute... You talk about a tectonic threshing floor. I figured out a trick for that laser enemy you don't like in Biome 2. I use the missile attack on it when it does, and it makes him stop. I don't know if the other types work as well. I wondered the other day when I did that to him, Gojira. I literally used every single thing on him, like every heavy power attack I had, and then I even used my Kamehameha. And I felt like I stunned him when I used the heavy attacks. I don't think it'll sell. I just think it's a split from right now, and maybe sell down the road. Crap, that's 100% what's happening. F. I'm telling you, like, this guy said this, and I was like, it really... Yeah, that's the post. The guy says, he's an indie dev. He says, I used to have Shane at Xbox.com years ago. However, I can't help but feel this focus on separating Xbox from Microsoft is packaging the brand up nicely for a spin-off or a sale. Yeah, people are going back and playing D1. You know what's funny is I'm not banned in D1. You guys want to play D1 on Monday? Oh, that'd ruffle some feathers. Oh, boy, would that ruffle some feathers. This mother freaking guy. I hate this guy. Who would buy them? Krafton or Tencent? What do you call R3 and L3? Right stick and left stick? The gall of this man. The gall of this man. Existing in a room. That would be... I think that would be the fear, is if they are trying to sell it off, there are horrible things coming. There are horrible things coming. Yeah, I played D1 again a little bit on my Xbox, and I got to tell you, boys, it felt really good. I was amazed how good it felt at 30 FPS and like 75 FOV. We were just seeing if I was banned, and I was like, man, I'm kind of surprised it feels this good. Yeah, I was kind of surprised. Who would buy the Xbox division? I don't know. I don't even know who could afford it. Xbox is not going to be sold off. It's just too large for anyone to come in and purchase. But 10 years from now, maybe. Why are you banned in Destiny 2? I have no idea. They never told me. They never told me. Microsoft would not sell all their property after just buying it. They would dissolve the brand and truly rename it Microsoft Gaming. Why would they want to attach that to Microsoft, though? I also saw another post. It might have been by Ecstasis. And he said to keep an eye on this. This is something else that's developing. Let me see if I can find it. Yeah. He says, pay attention to this. The new job offer states verbatim that this executive will lead, quote, the allocation of our central expenses. He says, keep an eye on this. This means that if a first-party Xbox studio wants to run an advertising campaign, use Microsoft's global marketing team, or use shared company tools, they'll be charged to their own budget. It's no longer Microsoft's money. It's an expense that will penalize the studio's individual financial balance sheet. They're going to force them to be profitable micro businesses within the giant. Okay? This could be quite literally why they're decoupling. Because of whatever the frick this is that Ecstasis is talking about. Microsoft has posted a key job opening. They're looking for a studio's expense lead to scrutinize their first-party accounts down to the last detail. The magic words in the post are optimize margins and demand ROI. The writing on the wall is clear. The era of blank checks is tightening up, and now developments are expected to be sustainable and profitable on their own. So I don't know if the decoupling is for selling off, but if what Ecstasis is observing is correct, they're like, no, that's on you. You're not Microsoft. You're Xbox. Figure it out. You're an Xbox studio. That's coming out of your budget. Do you see what I mean? If they decouple and they're like, you're not profitable enough, you're not doing a good enough job, you're out. You're shut down. Or you're sold off. Sold off to the highest bidder. I just don't know. Decoupling from Microsoft, I think is kind of significant. It could mean more than just like, again, they're trying to dress it up as like, oh, we're returning to Xbox. And it's like, you tech guys operate in these spaces. That's your stretch goal. Every day you hit 150, you play D1 in the Destiny directory for 2 hours. That's pretty good. Wait, YouTube Lurker, where have you been? How have you been, dude? That's not bad. If we hit 150 a day, I boot up Destiny 1. How are they going to put games day and date on Game Pass then? They're not going to. I think day and date's on a walking a plank right now. I think day and date's walking a plank. I think Call of Duty is the first shot to open the door. Boom. Blast off the biggest piece. Yeah, we're not putting Call of Duty day and date on Game Pass. And now they have every reason to do the same thing with like the Elder Scrolls 6. It's too expensive. It's too big. Too much production time. Done. Studios won't be jumping to make exclusives on a weaker marketplace. Yeah, who's going to want to do... Yeah, exactly. I actually like that idea. It would be bad for all you ponies if something like that happened, as Sony would do and charge anything they want. Sure, yeah. Yep. It's a real worry for all of us ponies. I guarantee you that's what has happened. Like I said, shareholders let them play around as much as they wanted until suddenly they spent $75 billion. Microsoft has willingly taken a hit over 2 decades, says Wheezy. I guarantee after the $75 billion in court fees and purchasing Activision and Bethesda, shareholders have without a doubt said make money. That's right. True SSJ Havoc says, Lono, I just did it. What did you do? You got the Returnal Platinum? Yeah. Was it that last glyph? Was it the Biome 2 glyph? That son of a gun. Did YouTube Lurker respond? I don't feel like he said anything in chat in an age. I feel like I've not seen him in such a long time. Where is he? I wanted to click on his name. D1 Orbit Stream when? YouTube Lurker, say something in chat. People may be the next day and date cut. Anthony Robinson says, as a pony, I'm playing a top quality game right now. Yeah, the Sony haters get a little extra grumpy when a good exclusive comes out. They get a little grumpy. Weezy says, everything was just a write-off and fun until all of a sudden they spent literal billions of dollars. Hey, now, wait a second. You guys haven't been profitable in 25 years, and now you just spent $75 billion. And we still aren't looking at profitability? No, y'all got to figure that out. That's... Yep. People call me a pony all the time. I just giddy up. Sorry, I'm playing good games. Yeah. Okay. You're a pony. Okay. Now that we're done exchanging insults like a 7-year-old, what do you have anything worthwhile to say? Oh, let's talk about Returnal and SAROS. My next game to Platinum will be Returnal and then SAROS. Platinum and Returnal is tough. All right, guys, you got 7.5 minutes. Now, stretch is probably out of the question unless some people go crazy with 50 bombs because 750 is the stretch. Now, let me just let you guys know. This is how it works, okay? You have unlocked tomorrow night. Madam and I will stream tomorrow, and we will react to gaming news. If you want to try to hit stretch tomorrow, you can only hit it within the first hour. When I'm not going to let somebody hit it at the very, very end of the night at the buzzer. You got to hit it within that first hour. So you either go crazy right now. Hilly is trying to manifest 50 bombs on Twitch. He's spamming farty bombs. So you guys are going to have to hustle if you're going to hit it in the next 6-7 minutes. 6-7, there it is. All this I say, I'm sure, is going to heavy restructuring and refocusing. This is not Xbox is saved. I'm saying Xbox has to behave like a business. Yeah, I don't think the Xbox is saved narrative got a lot of traction with anybody. I didn't think it got a lot of traction with anybody because it was like, it got traction with some, with a handful of people, obviously. But like for most part, most people are like, nothing's changing, bro. Like it's I don't know. It's all cosmetic to me. It's all cosmetic. They got people convinced that the Game Pass change was like, a huge saving thing. I hate this platform that lets me play all the games I want to play. Yes. It's so frustrating. All right, I can't find him in the chat now. Where did he say that? I hate when I get this chat blindness and I can't find the person in chat that said something. Like I literally scroll up and I cannot find it. There he is. YouTuber found it. It's trying to load his chat messages and it can't do it. That's how long it's been. See what I said above? I think it'll ultimately be good for them. I think they're restricting and refocusing because they no longer have infinite Microsoft money. Yeah, he hasn't spoken in so long. YouTuber hasn't spoken in so long. He's like he has no chat history. I can't find any chat history on him. My PS5 Pro and thousands of games laugh at these people going around calling me a pony. It's like, oh no. Also read my last. Wired Rope says, I'm delusional and it is saved. Thank you, Rope. All right, 4.5 minutes. And we're going over to Ginger. Let me get the link for that you read on it. I mean, I would say they're being healed from outside the map. Third time having to kill a run because of glitches. Yeah, there are glitches that can happen. I told you guys, some of the bosses just straight up glitch. It's Ginger Prime TV. We just got disconnected from YouTube. And we're back. Yes, Higgs. Yeah, the YouTube stream just died. Hang on one second. I need the link to the Ginger Prime show that we're going to, so I can put it in chat for you guys. All right, you guys have 3 minutes. Looks good on my end. Wait, it didn't cause you guys a blip at all? There's no way that didn't cause a blip. My iPad instantly refreshed. It's good. That was weird. Thank you guys, Lone. I managed to get the platinum. Good job. Blip on mobile. Yeah. No, Twitch is fine. Twitch, I'm gonna have you guys raid Ginger Prime's Twitch channel, and then YouTube, I'm gonna spam the link, and then I'll redirect. Okay, it did blip. Okay. Yeah, I was gonna say, like, we literally, it was so weird. It was so odd. Like, as soon as I went to be like, okay, let me get a link for Ginger's stream or whatever, it, like, we just switched ingest servers. It was very, very strange. I was trying to tell you I got it, and it worked out at the last minute. Okay. All right. Minute and a half. I'm going to pull the timer down. You guys are going to have to try to work on that tomorrow then. All right. So I'm going to spam a link in chat for YouTube. We will be back with the SAROS stream. We will. So that's where we're heading on YouTube. And then over there on Twitch, we're going to raid Ginger Prime. This channel has a follower or subscriber only chat. Okay. Everybody ready up for the raid over there on Twitch? Okay. All right. I will see you guys over there. All right. Gonna have like a minute or so to get ready over there and change the thumbnail on this stream. Thank you guys so much. I will see you guys over there for the podcast. And then hopefully I see you guys back here in about an hour or so for more SAROS. All right. See you then.